boys and girls around the world. It is once again time for the WADcast. I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by my brother from another coast, Brandon. What is up, man?
We're from the same coast.
Well, you're not on this coast at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm not from California. See, you say stuff like that.
You haven't been here in forever.
Oh, God. Listen, sweetheart, I'm sorry I left you. But Daddy had a business trip.
I've been sitting on your birthday gift for 7 years.
Where was it when I lived in Florida?
It was in my house because you never came here either.
Okay. Well, you know what? This is why we didn't work out, okay? Because I had to do all the driving to come see you. Well, and you know what? That is why I left. That is why I left to go get a pack of cigarettes, and I never came back.
You never loved me. Introduce our guest.
Okay. All right. So yeah, everybody. Hi. Happy Friday night. It's going to be here on actual Friday night. What was that? My God. I yelled at myself, but tonight we were joined by an old classmate of mine from film school. He's a on-set producer. He's a line producer. He's pretty much he's got his hands in different aspects of things. He wears many hats. His name is Ovidio. God, I'm tongue-tied. Ovidio Jiminez. He owns and operates Mr. O Films. Ovidio, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Good. See, I like how we say this stuff as if we were not talking before the show.
Yeah, like 15 minutes before we got on.
Like, it's good to meet you.
Let's start our conversation now.
Oh my God. So on tonight's show, we are not only are we having Ovidio as our special guest, where we are going to grill him about his career for all the youngsters that want to get in the film industry but are being told constantly that they should choose something safe. That is, unfortunately, Josh, you and I have actually talked about that before, how that is. And I think when we had Sue on the show, and also with one of our other guests, we had discussed this. You hear that a lot, to choose something safe, like, find something secure. And nothing good ever comes from playing it safe or finding something secure. You have to make that for yourself sometimes. And here we are with someone who actually found a way to do that, but they also, a video. You know what? I'll actually let you. You and I've known you for a while. We've discussed this before, but you work as a producer. Not a commonplace thing for people to really get excited about working as when we were in film school. You would never hear someone like, "Oh my God, I want to be a producer someday." It's always like film school. It's always like, I want to work with cameras. I want to work with writing. I want to direct, or I want to act. Those are like the big fours that you always hear. So why don't you tell us, like, how did you come out? How did you come into play with California, and how did you get involved? What made you want to get involved with film in general?
So I took an elective in high school, and it was a video production class, and we would just make videos. The first year would be just making videos in class, and you would show them to the classmates, and that was really it. But your second year in film school or film elective would be this program that went to all the high school, and it was called CTV. And we did a news for like news thing for like 10 minutes every day. And when I would make videos on there and would go to the homerooms, you would just see everybody watching it and like kind of losing themselves and being entertained. And I thought that was cool. Like, hey, you can create something. It can help people like forget about their problems type thing and like enjoy something. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll do this. But school ended, and I didn't really know if I wanted to do that still. I thought it would be like a fad or something. So I waited a couple of years and waited. So I didn't want to just jump into something. And so a couple of years go by, and my dad asks me, "Hey, what do you want to do? Like you're home, and you're working, and you're going to this college, but like, is that what you want to do?" And I was like, "I actually thinking about film school." And he's like, "Cool. Well, when we get home, let's look for college, and let's send you." And yeah, that's how I started film school.
Okay. So that's actually very supportive. I mean, it's actually
Yeah,
like
no,
a very, very supportive parent.
oh yeah, my parents they're the best. They're very proud of me, and I'm the only kid to actually graduate college out of all my family. Actually, I don't think anybody in our and anybody in our family, and no one went to college. No one went for a degree, and yeah, I think I'm the only one that's done that.
No, I mean that's awesome. That's a hell of a that. I mean, that is one hell of an accomplishment. Also, to see like what you've done, with your career since then. I will say this. I posted this on our Facebook page about like a week ago. Uh, actually, I think it was this week. Ovidio made this short film. He's one of the producers of the short film, and it's a fan film. But the thing is it was so well done. And it's from the ending fight scene from Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, the animated film that came out in like the early 2000s. Uh, the guy that played Batman, and as I was telling the video before the show, especially the guy that played the Joker, you have this
Yeah,
iconic
Hunter.
character, Hunter. Yeah, that's it. You have this iconic character that people, from what I've seen, honestly, the safest bet if you want to see a live action portrayal of the Joker live action would honestly be in an independent film. I've seen some beautiful iterations of the Joker through independent film. But you've done some things, and that's not the only thing you've done with your career, obviously. It's just like, you're a huge fan of Batman. For those of you that do not know, Ovidio, a huge fan of Batman. But before you got into production, I'm sorry, working as a producer, what did you do to like build up to that? Like, did you intern anywhere? Did you like what was your earliest role in the film industry before you became what you are now?
So straight out of film school, they don't really like they have this thing where they like it's like a job search, and a bunch of people, a bunch of like vendors or companies come and interview students, and they like basically try to set you up for interviews. Well, the only one I got was TMZ, and when I went to get for the interview, they basically told me that I was going to be like refilling their their refrigerators and taking out their trash. And I mean, at that time, I'm like, just spend $100,000 on film school. I'm not gonna clean up your trash and refill your refrigerator. Like, I'm worth more than that. And that's just me being young and like not knowing, you got to build your way up. So I started doing like really, really small music videos with like film buddies, and they were like $3,000 videos, sometimes $2,000 videos. I'd get paid like $300 to produce things, and then that would start at least as a slow down. And once that was dried up, I was like, well, I got to do something, and I got on a G&E truck and worked that for a couple years, and just met like a bunch of contacts that way, and met all the vendors, and seeing how productions were ran by one of the crew members, and was like, hey, I gotta like try to do this. I want to be a producer. I want to be a production manager. I want to be the person making the plan and putting it all together and making it better than what I've seen. And started that way, with just in the grip truck, and bringing lights and lighting scenes and doing a ton of music videos, some features here and there, and some corporate videos. It was just all came from like doing grip and lighting.
Okay, so that was like the stepping point into actually working, pretty much like running productions.
Yeah, it was that, and then our old film school teacher, it was his grip truck, and I told him, like, I don't know, I want to get off the truck and I want to get into into the office and do some of the planning. And he had a feature going on, and he threw me in as a coordinator. And when I was doing that job, I met basically a really good buddy of mine. He's like my mentor now. He's a really good friend. His name is Joel, and he was the line producer at the time, and he was getting married at the time, so he didn't really want to do anything other than plan his wedding. So he was teaching me everything. Like, he was just like, this is how you do this is how you do that. While you do that, I'm gonna go plan my wedding. And I basically like learned how to do payroll with like actual like I think it was entertainment partners at the time. I was learning all the documents and building call sheets. I was actually the production coordinator, second AD on that one. So I was doing two jobs, and it was with a bunch of guys that I already worked with. All the grip and lighting guys were the guys that I had been working with, but now I was with production. So they were all like, "Oh yeah, you're putting the lights down and you're picking up a clipboard." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm moving on, guys." And yeah, I learned a lot from that and became a coordinator on that job, and then became really good buddies with Joel. And then he started bringing me on all his music videos as his PM. And then I'm still working with him till this day. Like he's a big reason why I'm a success, I guess. And I owe a lot to him.
Okay. Josh, would you like to,
I think just from I'm just gonna say it, just from a nerd perspective, though, really curious. You love Batman, but you went Batman Beyond. Is there a particular reason that you went for that version?
I mean, so who made that film is the Reanimate channel. It's a YouTube channel, and I went on. I'm not the one that like said, "Hey, let's go do a Batman Beyond piece." They were already doing it, and they brought me on. They're like, "Hey, well, Video really likes Batman. We need a producer that'll probably work for free," which I did because I've always wanted to make Batman shit. I'm sorry about that. Just want to always do Batman. And honestly, Batman Beyond is what I do want to make. The cartoon when I was a kid, it's so cool. It's like futuristic. It's I've always like pitched like Batman should be like that with Blade Runner. Like that's what Batman Beyond should be. And I know we didn't accomplish that, but like if I ever got a chance, that's totally what would be my pitch. Would be like we got to make a Batman film, Batman Beyond, meets Blade Runner.
That'd actually be pretty badass.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, it'd be so sweet. Like I don't understand why they haven't done it. I'm glad they haven't. Maybe they're just waiting, and the more they wait, the better it is for me. Because the older I get, I guess that'll be the time for them to actually do it. So maybe there'd be a chance. Crossing fingers.
No, I would honestly, I would very much be down for that. Like,
that would.
Especially if you get Harrison Ford involved. Let's face it. By that time, probably will not be an option. I hate to say it, but he's not exactly like a spring chicken here. So.
No, I think. I always said when I ever talk to my buddies about this, anyone that like my buddies that don't know what I'm talking about, like, I would want to do Michael Keaton. Like he'd have to be really old, like a really old Michael Keaton playing old Bruce Wayne. I don't know who I'd cast as Terry McGinnis right now, but that new Batman, Pattinson, he'd play good Terry. Like I could see him doing that. And then like a really old Michael Keaton. I think that would work. I don't know who to direct it, but
I got you.
Would be
Without
cool.
ever having directed a feature superhero film, I got this.
Yeah, you got it. There you go.
It worked for Tim Burton.
Yeah. Everybody's like, I have a buddy of mine that's he's Chad. He went to school with us too. He's always like, "Hey, when are you gonna get into the directing chair?" And I'm like, I honestly have no ambition to be a director. It's not my thing. If I was to become a director, I'd have to have complete control of it. Like, it couldn't be anyone that says that to tell me no that what I want to do, because once they do that, then you lose your vision. And if someone's going to be able to mess with that, then I don't even want to risk it.
No, I got that.
Yeah.
So how many projects would you say you've because you do line producing, which for those of you guys that are listening that don't know what line producing is, it's pretty much budgeting and coordinating everything. Pretty much all the paperwork and making sure that everything is where it needs to be. All the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, budgets, all those things. That's all line producing. So what all factors do you do when it comes into the production standpoint of things?
So if it's a music video, I've done $500,000 music videos as a PM and line producer, and I've done I think my biggest actual producer job, where it was ran through my company, was about $125K for the day. It just depends. Like if it's one of those really big jobs, I'm on there as basically they're giving me a budget and making sure I'm holding the line of all that stuff and making sure the planning's happening, the hiring's happening, the locations are going down, the equipment's going down, everything has to like fall in place.
Yeah.
Basically they got to like the boss, the company needs to show up and it just needs to turn, it needs to go, and it can't be problems being seen. Nothing can go wrong, and if it does, fix it before they notice it. Which is basically when I'm on set, I'm really just sitting there waiting for something to go wrong if it does, and I'm coordinating or telling the PAs, when they're running their stuff, making sure everybody's getting their water, their food, they're setting up all their gear, they're getting everything set so that the actual people that are making it can do their job, and then once it's all gone, we clean it up and then we send it all home, and then for another week it's doing all the wrap out of it and sending all the the paperwork that with all the money that was spent and tracking it and making sure all that gear gets returned and make sure nothing's broken and it's all buttoned up and then nice in like a little binder, so when the job's done you hand it to them and say, this is where your money went.
Okay. So is that like pretty much what you plan to do for like a career, like working just like the line producing and the like running the productions kind of deal? Is that like pretty much what your focal point is until the day comes where it's just like no more?
I think at some point I'd like to be able to say, hey, I'd like to make this, and then hire somebody like me to do it, and then like be able to be that person that says like, no, I don't like that, do this. I want to be able to just show up and like whenever I want and see what they're making, and then like cool, that stuff's cool, and then like leave when I want to. Like no. that's really what I would like to do. I'd love to just show up and be like, cool, let's shoot some stuff, and then know that there's like a person like me like handling what I do, and then I just enjoy watching stuff get made, or something that I thought was cool. Like I found a script or something I liked. I was like, oh, that's a really cool piece. We should make that. And then you make a phone call and then it starts happening, and then that'd be great.
God,
I would love that.
I think that is every member of the film community's dream right there.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I don't I don't go into the day every day or like think, oh, I'm gonna get that one day. It's a something to think that would be cool to do, but I don't think if it doesn't happen, it's like I feel like I failed or anything.
Well, I mean, at least you have a humble mindset on it. I mean, that's the important part.
Yeah. It's like I honestly, it was like a year ago, about a year and a half ago, I was doing a ton of music videos, and music videos suck, man. Like, especially like if you get like some artists that just are like, they're just not they're not the same vibe, and they show up like at the party, it gets really bad. Like they get really disrespectful. They treat the crew like shit. Sorry. They just don't.
Listen, you don't have to worry about saying shit, damn, hell, or anything like that. Those are acceptable.
Yeah.
It's the F word. It's like,
all right.
Fuck is my word.
They don't respect, the people that are making everything. And sometimes, the people giving you the money don't respect the filmmaking process. So when a year and a half ago, I was like, I need to stop doing this. Pretty much like how I did with Genie, I needed to start saying no to those jobs and only accept other types of jobs. And it's kind of tough because all your contacts with music videos, and you got to completely just tell them no and like grind through and make these other jobs appear and work on new contacts that know you as a producer of that type of content. And just like this lasted the last 4 months, it's completely been like no music videos, and it's been the narratives, it's been stage shows, it's been interviews, it's been nothing's music video, and they still hit me up, and I just got to tell them no. But it's hard to break that, like your contacts with what they know who you are, and move on to a new thing.
Oh yeah, no, I completely get that. Josh, what you got, buddy?
Well, I know we don't usually backtrack in one's life timeline, but I think it's a pretty important question to ask here. Now, film school. We've had a lot of different takes on it on this show over the last several months. But what is your opinion on the importance of film school and breaking into the industry?
Man, like anytime someone asks me like, oh, like, you know, that question, I think of it as it's where I met my most expensive friends. I'm still friends with a lot of them. It costs a lot of money to meet these guys. And I did learn stuff in film school, and I met my film school teacher, and he gave me a job and he gave me a break. But, you know, I don't think you need to come here and go to film school to get in the industry. You just got to come here hungry and willing to learn, and probably hop on a couple free sets, because if you get on a set and work for free and you work your butt off, like, you'll move up really quick and you won't have to spend all that money.
Absolutely. And Josh, I think I was actually telling you about this. Like, there was some guy, somebody who would never work for free on the film set. Like, then you're an idiot. Like, I mean, just, you know, like, I've had, like, you know, people like, you know, my little sister, like, you know, with her, like, working in theater now, like, but, like, you know, there's a guy that I actually dealt with a while back that told me that he would never work for free. And it was actually one of the Facebook groups that we're in. Says, if you're good at something, you never do it for free. It's like, well, that's fine. When you're good at something, get that experience so you can be good for something and actually charge for it. Like, if you don't want to go to film school, take your ass on a few film sets. You'll be saving money that way anyway.
Yeah, you can't really post, like, on, like, Facebook or anything or anywhere. People will just destroy you when you ask for free labor or anything. It's I think PA Boot Camp is ran by Coyote, and they do, like, a program where, like, they charge, like, you know, these kids to learn, like, PA work. And I think we would just, instead of, like, posting it back then, we would just go to Coyote and be like, hey, we need some interns. Can you throw us some people? And we'd get all of our, like, PA interns through this class called PA Boot Camp. And we'd have them work. We'd do a feature, and we'd have 4 of them at the beginning, and we'd give them a couple weeks. And whoever we thought was the best, we'd give them a job, and we'd pay them the remaining of the shoot. But I mean, I've met some really good PAs that way. I met one named Matt Scuda, and that kid works for The Mandalorian now, and he's done, like, what's that Western show, Westworld. He's done Westworld. He's like on some big stuff now, and he's doing really good. And there's a couple other ones that I've met that one worked for Warner Brothers. Just they moved up really quick, and all they did was, I think that class was like $200 at the time, and it was 2 weekends worth of like knowledge of, like, what a PA does.
Yeah, well, you were also saying, like, when you and I were talking earlier about this, and, you know, he only started working in the film industry in 2014, right?
Yeah, he was.
So 7 years later.
Yeah.
7 years later, at work, just starting off as a lowly PA, starting off working for free just to get his foot in the door kind of deal, and then also becoming, like, you know, like a paid PA. But now he's working you told me earlier, what was it that he's doing with the Mandalorian? It's not production assistant anymore.
It's I've never hired this job, but it's all the VFX. It's like a data. He like takes track of the data of, like, all the VFX stuff.
It's pretty much like IT. Well, not IT, but I guess kind of IT. But it's like pretty much like the more technical work. But
yeah, he's on site watching the VFX and taking notes of everything that's happening. So I guess when that goes to post, you know, he has all these notes, and this kid is so, like, on it that, like, he's perfect. He's not going to miss anything. He's super on it. Like, you can give that kid, like, when I was working with him, you could just say, hey, I need this done, and walk away, and you knew it was going to happen with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, it's like, and that's the whole point. Like, okay, for anyone that will ever hear this episode that will say, oh, I won't work for free in film, guess what? There's a future. You don't have to, like, there's no one saying that you have to work the rest of your career for free. That's not what anyone ever expects. But working as a PA, unfortunately, you are the gopher. You are whatever they need you to be. You are going to be wherever they put you. It does not matter. There's no arguing. This is how it is. That's the best. Treat it like a boot camp. You know, granted, you get paid for boot camp, but treat this as a boot camp for learning. Your payment is experience. And you are the one they have to break in. So you come in with, what's that?
So the price is time, and everybody should be able to afford that.
And that's it. Like, I mean, like, people think that movies, like, working on a film set I mean, I don't know why, but this one guy said that I would never work on a film set for free for 9 months. I'm like, what film set are you working on for free for 9 months?
If they're having you work that long and for free, they're taking advantage of you, and you should just move on. I think I think that's what we always said. We'd only have them work for the first couple of weeks, and even that, if that. If like we were doing a 14-day shoot, it'd be like the first 4 days. And if they weren't working, we'd let them know, hey, it's not working out. Because we didn't want to take advantage of anybody. We'd be like, yeah, it's never going to work out with us, buddy. We would let them go. If they wanted to stay, they were more than welcome to stay.
And that's the way to do it. Like there's some successful filmmakers in Hollywood, both in the mainstream circuit, also in the independent circuit, that have started off doing free PA work if they didn't go to film school. They put their dues in, and it's not like they worked for months on end for nothing. I mean, they would just show up, they'd bust their asses, they'd show up before anyone else got there, they'd stay after most people left, sweeping floors, things that they weren't even supposed to do, that weren't even in their job description that day. They would just make sure that the next production would be smooth as possible. So they were being a production assistant. And I think there was something I was reading about, like a production assistant who ended up catching the eyes of a director for one of these shoots, and he was flown over to, I think, Europe or something like that. First class, put up in a hotel, a very nice hotel. He worked, I think, 6 days a week, and he pretty much lived like a king for, that whole time, but he was paid to be on that production. And then when it came time for him to do his own thing, because of the contacts he made working on that production, he was able to get the director's back, the director's blessing with the financiers. Of course it's further down the line, but he started, he got his foot in the door that way, and he built his way up, and now he has no problem getting funding if he needs to do something. But I've got to look up that interview. So it's on one of those, I think that Film Courage channel. But it was a fascinating 2.5 hour interview. But what projects what projects do you Ovidio? What do you work on usually? These days, independent films, feature films, A-list films, or television. What kind of things do you specialize in right now?
So I just switched out to I'm trying to getting out of music videos. For a year and a half ago, it was straight music videos, mainly music videos, and then I get a movie once a year. And then it would be a stage show. I just got off a Fox show yesterday. We went on for 6 weeks, and I'd like to get into that more because it's a lot more fast paced, and the people that work on those are a lot older. So usually you're working with some real pros, and they're all wanting to be there, and that's how they make a living. Nobody really kind of has an attitude there. I like that. I'm doing some interview stuff here and there, movies if they come up, but yeah, just trying to get out of music videos. But yeah, if it was anything it'd be live television, or anything that's I think we're doing, supposedly there's a Jay Leno show coming up soon that I'm up for, that I might be doing.
Oh, nice.
It's a new Fox show that they have coming out. I think it's called You Bet Your Life on It. It's with Jay Leno, and I think that shoots I think they say September, I don't know. But I'm supposed to go on that and line produce it or production manager, whatever they want me to do. I'll do it. Get in there and work with those guys. That'd be cool. That's probably going to be an ongoing show too. It'll be they'll go on forever, and that'll be a for sure 3-month gig every year that I would be a part of. That'd be nice.
Okay.
You said You Bet Your Life?
Yeah, You Bet Your Life on it. I think it was an old 40s show, and they're
by Groucho Marx.
Yeah, it's an old reboot. Now it's going to be a reboot with Jay Leno.
Interesting. I used to love that show.
Yeah, we were supposed to do, or they are still doing some PR shoots or something that I was supposed to be a part of, but they ended up not needing me. So I'm not doing that. But hopefully when they get the go for it, the head of production will give me a call. Get me on it.
Okay. I'll have to watch the show, because I honestly completely forgot all about the show even existed. I remember my grandma watching the reruns of it, but wow, see, I didn't know Jay Leno was doing a remake of the show.
Yeah, I think it's just like they're just posting about it right now. And then I mean I'd heard about it, but then like last week, the person that's my boss was like, hey, what are you doing? What you got coming up? And I'm like, just this. And then I got this Disney thing in June, but as of now, nothing. And he's like, well, we've got this Day Leno show and it's coming up, and then let's see what your availability was like. And I was like, oh, I'm available. Just give me a call. There.
Okay.
So hopefully, it happens.
Gotcha. All right.
I mean, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that Disney show. I mean, it's not a Disney show. It's a spec piece. It's about jewelry that I'm on right now. It doesn't shoot till June, but the company that I'm with, it's all about the planning right now because Disney wants to see everything now. Like they want it way before we even start. They want to see things. They want to see who they're casting as the princesses. They want to see the locations, and that's not until June. And it's burn March. So it's hard to I guess get people to commit to things that's so far away because anything can happen from now to then. But yeah, I'm working on that. It's like a 2-day thing where we're casting all the Disney princesses to promote jewelry.
Okay. Well, now you and I have had this conversation. You and I, we spoke about we spoke about things earlier, as far as our experiences with financiers and what happened with the bad agent thing this past year, where we weren't able to really film it because of COVID. But I told you about how Josh and I met, and the circumstances that surrounded a series that we worked on that didn't really come to fruition. So when it comes to financing a film, what would you how now, do you actually work with actually raising the finances themselves, or what is it do you just put together the actual budgetary lists and submit them for the people that are trying to get the finances? How do you do things?
I've never I can't say never. I've found funding once, but usually, like I mentioned earlier, Joel, he's usually the guy that finds the money. He's the executive producer that I would say. I think executive producers find money. They're the ones that know those people that are willing to spend money. I'm kind of young, those people don't really trust, hey, at the time, 28-year-old and trying to, give me $500,000, give me $250,000. It's hard to get. It's even hard for them to even trust somebody my age to run their job sometimes. Which is what Joel usually does, and he's God, I don't know how old he is. But he's I think he's 40, 43, but he's older and he speaks with confidence. And when he goes and finds people, he gets funding. And once he gets the funding, he says, "We got money. Here's a script. Break it down, Ovidio." And then I run it, and we hire an AD. He breaks down the script. And then once he has a breakdown of the script, then I break down it with it's we're shooting here this day. We need this location this many days. And then I look at it and I'm like, once I see what he's done, I'm like, then it just becomes numbers. Okay, well, if it's that location, that's going to need at least six Genie guys, and the amount of talent that's there, we're probably going to need trailers, and then we're going to need parking. It all just starts inputting all these numbers in this breakdown.
Now, how do you come up with the the right amount of numbers for this? How do you come up with the appropriate level of I guess what's necessary for that to be a smooth day of shooting?
Oh man, it's anytime you mean the amount of money or the amount of people?
The amount of people, the amount of people, because I mean it's not just the actors, it's the actors, the crew, all this stuff. How big is this location? I can only imagine it's gotten even more hectic in the wake of what the film industry is kind of morphed into with COVID being the issue now. But my question is, okay, well, we're filming inside of it's going to be an office scene in a building or a warehouse scene or something.
Yeah.
Now I know that you have the hired. I'm sorry.
An office scene is way different from a warehouse scene.
How so?
In crew, because if you're in a warehouse, you got to think about wherever they're filming and how far it is to have staging could be in an office. You could be in a room and the next door over, you could have all your holdings and everything. But in a warehouse, it's so big, everything's got to be so far apart. They probably want to see the world. That means they're going to need like a generator. They're going to need to run cable. That's going to need more G&E guys. You need more people when it comes to like the bigger the space, the more people. It's just, you can't expect 2 G&E guys to run all that equipment, and versus being in a little office where like, oh yeah, the truck's like parked down there and take an elevator up. These 2 guys are going to put up some 2 panels, and then we're going to be good to go. Like it's a lot different. I mean, you could be in a mansion, like, and the place is super nice, so that means we need to put layout board on the ground, and everything needs to be safetied, and everything needs to be super clean, and you can't mess with the house. So you need more hands to like get the place prepped, and for people to be extra safe, you need more people for that. I mean, probably the person that's there, they're super on top of you, so you got to have a PA that's like around them, making sure that they're okay, and they're making sure that nothing's happening to their house, so they're relaying things to us, and probably you're passing out layout board everywhere. It's very much like, yeah, the location, and the location, like it's a big part of like how many people we have when on the location.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that. I was really wondering like how, like, what all goes into it and how you actually plan those days out. Because I mean, it's I don't know. It's got to be, I don't know. Like it's got to be like just a hectic situation. I mean, especially if it's like not saying that you poorly plan things, but I would say like I would go so far to say that if it's poorly planned, then you have like one really shitty day ahead of you.
Yeah,
if it's in the wrong hands of planning,
you'd be wasting a lot of money if it's not planned right. You probably most likely ain't gonna get everything you want. Like the directors, they're for sure gonna be not capturing everything, and it's gonna feel rushed. And when it gets to the cutting room floor, you're gonna see that there's hardly any footage, or there's nothing. It's people end up getting pretty pissed.
No, yeah.
You got to do a whole new reshoot. You got to basically reshoot. You got to spend. We did a music video that cost $20,000 to set up and do that. You're basically spending another $20,000 to go back.
God.
Yeah. I've had a shoot where an artist never even showed up, and it was a 15K day, and we basically had to spend $15K to do it again because he never showed up.
And was this for this artist's music video?
Yeah, it's a music video. It's so funny is I was on another music video once, and I was talking to a label guy about this happening once, and he's like, "Oh, my artists never do that," and I'm like, "Who's your artist? Who's his artist?"
Nope. You guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You know it, buddy.
No, so it's like, I mean, see, this is one thing that people don't understand. Like, the artists themselves, well, from what I've seen, do not pay for their music videos.
No. Well, no. That's not true. Some of them do. And, what the label does is they give the initial money up front. And then I guess whenever the artist is like, their work goes out and they make money, whatever money they're making goes back to the label first before it goes back to them. I got with some of the artists.
No, I got you. But, I mean, it's like I know independent artists pay for their music videos. Like the independent, like they're not like they don't have a label, stuff like that. Like
yeah,
you have like the young rappers or whatever rappers, rock bands, the garage bands. They pay for their music videos. They usually don't have like record labels that they're assigned to. But yeah, if they are signed, quote unquote signed to a record label, quote unquote record label, it's usually just like, no different than me making a production company to make an independent film with, just like making up a name. But what I'm getting is like, it's rare for them to pay out of their pocket, like right then and there. Like I know that like the labels themselves actually, they take it back from the bands. Like I get that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you would think like with these artists, like, even though they're not directly paying right then and there for the music video, now, I know that they make a lot of money. So to them, it's like, oh, it's just a wasted day. But it's like, you got to deal with like getting funding for another day, and like, have people that may have say like it's a certain like say like a 3-day shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You get everything set up that one day, and then the artist never shows up. So now that 3-day shoot with these people has now turned into a 4-day shoot because you have to go through the shot list and everything else. You have that schedule you have to abide by. You may get through it faster, granted, but you still have that like shot list for everything for each day that you're there.
Yeah.
So that 3-day shoot has now turned into a 4-day shoot because that artist just, for whatever reason, deciding to find something better to do with their time.
Yeah.
And so I mean, what are like some like? Have you ever had like a financer, like have you ever dealt with like finances just like at the very last minute just being like retracted?
Where they don't want to pay?
Yeah. Like whereas like you're ready to go for production, and then like not like the day of, obviously, but like just like shortly before it's time to get the ball rolling and like be on set and get everything ready to go. The backers are like, you know what? Never mind. We're not interested. No, we're going to put the money towards something else instead. Like, just what? Have you ever dealt with anything like that?
I've had shoots push. As far as canceling goes, not many, but there's sometimes when you're like 2 days away, 3 days away, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to push. It'll push like a week or a month, or I mean, I've had that happen. I mean, that happens often in the music video world. An artist will be like, oh, I'm gonna go. I have this concert I have to go to now. So they're like, all right, we got to push it, and then we push it. But it happens. It happens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, like Josh, when I was talking to a video about producers backing out last minute. I'm sure it sounds familiar to you.
I might have heard about something in passing once or twice.
I've never had a movie do that. The movies don't. I've had not like that close to a production starting. I've had them back out like a couple weeks, 3 weeks before like we're supposed to start. They'll go into a meeting and then they'll be like, "Oh, this is all happening too fast. Like we need to slow it down." Usually that means they're pulling out.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like I mean, it's like, and we had the gentleman Kevin on our show, Kevin Kellum. He was a special guest of ours a few months back. Really awesome guy. Really nice. Very, very informative. Owns a production, owns his own production studio. Dealing with a lot of stuff. I mean, the guy is like really making a legging. I think he's actually like pretty much being a pioneer in the industry with what he's doing. But
he's very busy.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's. I'm sure he's probably swamped. But he was talking about how, like, with him being a producer, he's dealt with people that needed financing, and he would find financing for them. And then he was also talking about how remember Josh, he was talking about that one girl that wanted to use an actress, and she backed out when Kevin gave her like the rough roundabout budget. And she's like, I could do it for cheaper. Like, I found this actress for like $500,000, and that was her entire budget for the film. And Kevin's like, well, I know the same actress. I could have gotten her for half that price, and I could have turned your $500,000 into $2 million for that film. Oh well, we don't want to. Well, we can't pay you up front. He says, you don't pay me up front. I'm going to get as much of a budget for you as possible so I can get my percentage. Like, and so it's like, like I was telling the video about like with our production. Obviously, I will not bring up names or even the name of the production, but I was talking about our production, how we found the location, everything else, everything was good to go. Cast was done, the whole season was written. All we had to do was wait for the person that had the connections, quote unquote connections. This is my third quote unquote that I've done tonight. And just once it got real, feet got cold. So I mean, it's just like, hey, it's a humbling experience. You learn pretty quickly. But so you've never dealt with anything like that at all, Ovidio? Like not like obvious, not from you, but like from your experience, have you ever have you ever dealt with anybody that did something like that, like just like kind of backed out last minute because they weren't really I don't know, like maybe things got too real. They weren't serious enough about something, or
No, yeah. I mean, yeah. I had a movie. We had a movie we were doing in February last year, right before COVID, and that's what I was saying. Like we had everything going. We had to move fast. There wasn't a lot of money in it. It was enough to make the job happen, and whenever we didn't have a lot of money for pre-production, so we only gave ourselves like a month and a half to throw it together to shoot I think it was like a 16-day feature. And when we were putting it all together and we were getting, all these actors in place, the locations in place, and we were sending it off to, like the EP, the person with the money, she's like, oh, cool. Right. So we're shooting in a couple weeks. What do you mean we're shooting in a couple weeks? I'm like, yeah, we're shooting soon. Like, we need money now. And once that came a thing, we gotta slow down. We gotta spend more time. And I'm like, well, you don't have time to do that. We're on a budget. We only get so many prep days to put this together. We can't just sit around doing all this work for you for a couple months because the budget doesn't allow that. We're not gonna just work on this job for the same amount of money for a couple months. It had to go quick. And when we had our meeting, they liked everything, and then all of a sudden it kind of went like stale, like nothing ever got greenlit. And then COVID came around, and then they were like, okay, maybe we shouldn't shoot this thing because COVID looks like it's about to take over, and we should probably hold off on that. And then COVID happened, but even like when that wasn't a thing, or it's still a thing, but that job never came back.
Oh, I gotcha. That sucks.
Yeah, but it happens. You get used to it. I mean, I remember when I was first starting out, when jobs like that would happen, you'd be so dependent on like that job to go through so you could make rent, so you could eat. And when that would happen, it would just destroy you. Like when I was earlier in my career. But you kind of get used to that. You just kind of like have to like, all right, I'm gonna make this budget. I'm gonna put this stuff together. Hopefully this job happens. And you kind of become numb after a while. You just go, oh, yep, another one fell through. On to the next. Like the amount of budgets I've made over the course and that haven't been made, like, yeah, a lot of budgets, a lot of research, a lot of phone calls. Like, hey, are you available? Cool, soft hold, cool. And then you'd reach out to all your people, and they all think they might be working, and then it ends up not happening. I mean, that happens often. At a point I stopped, reaching out to people, letting them know, and I just kind of put a budget down. I'm like, this is what's going to cost to shoot, and I'm not going to call anybody until I have money in my account. And usually that weeds them out. I used to when I used to do music videos. I wouldn't take money. I mean, I wouldn't go. I think it was like 4 days. If it was past 4 days, and if they weren't like having money in my account, I'd just cancel it, and I'd say, well, when the money hits, we'll move again. Yeah,
it's fair enough.
Happens. Yeah, you kind of have to do that because then you're left with, like, you say you do the job, and then their money's still not there. You basically owe all these people money because they haven't paid you. Yeah, it's happened to a couple people that I know where they've ran videos and they lost like $9,000 because the label decided not to pay them.
God. Well, I mean, can they go after like in a lawsuit to get that money back, or?
Man, so I mean, this actually happened to me once. It happened to me like it was like one of the last videos I did. I was kind of maybe not do music videos. It was December, and usually December gets really dead, and there's nothing. You gotta have something come into that thing. And I took a phone call, and I took the job, but I wasn't the producer. I was just PMing it. So they were running it through their company, and I was just making the phone calls here for them. And we got most of the money up front, but there was some of it where crew didn't get paid, and 1 month goes by, 2 months go by, 4 months goes by, and nothing. So I basically had to come out of pocket to pay everybody, and basically I took loss. And to this day, I'm still asking them for where's the money that you owe me.
Do they actually respond to you, or is it like, oh, it's coming?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they do. They, I mean, I already chalked it up that I've lost the money. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but
it's just kind of like
still
one of those reminding them that you're still here.
Yeah. So last time I spoke to them was in February, and they said in May you'll have it. So May's coming up. But what's it? What was the question? There was something that led to this. God, I forget what the question was. But
it's okay. It happens to us all the time, buddy. I forget the question. I forget what it was.
Yeah, it definitely happens, and I think I'm owed money for sure. But I
Listen. If you thought this was one of those shows where we are organized, where we plan the show out like a week ahead of time, my friend, you're on the wrong show.
Yeah, got it.
Josh and I have had a whole bunch of moments where it's like, oh shit, we have a show tonight. What are we talking about? And this is like 15 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's that's what you were saying last week when I hit you up. I'm like, oh, I forgot to watch it. I was out of the house. He's like, don't worry, we didn't even talk about what we were supposed to be talking about.
Honestly, Josh, I don't think we really even touched on barely anything last week that we had intended to touch on.
I don't remember last week's show.
See, that's our entire show.
I listened to the other one. I think it was on a Saturday, your first Saturday, and I remember you were talking, right? And then you went to Josh like, do you have an opinion? And he's like, no, it's past 10. I'm not going to give you any opinions right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, for those that don't know, my day begins on the regular at 5 a.m. and by the time we get around to, getting things together and actually going live, it's been a long day.
Yeah, it is. Well, when we start the show, it's already 10 o'clock your time.
Right.
So, I mean, you're over there in Jacksonville, Florida, so. But, well, speaking of the show, we do have a second part of the show. And, Ovidio, I'd love for your input on this, just as you working in the industry.
Yeah.
Josh, would you like to introduce the next segment of the show?
No, sure. I was going to be a little smoother with the transition, but that works too.
Well, I mean, it's like, by all means, like there are things that we can use this and discuss this in accordance with Ovidio's career as well. So it's like, this whole thing is like interconnected to me. So, but go ahead, Josh.
Well, as some of you may or may not know, I can't imagine you haven't learned by now that the Academy Award nominees were announced earlier this week, Monday to be precise. And as usual, we get the same old comments of, hey, good call, or hey, my favorite this was snubbed. And more likely than not, you're going to see comments that are like, who cares? But for people like us, I don't want to say it's a big deal because, it varies from person to person. But we tend to at least keep one eye open on what's going down as far as award season goes. So I figured tonight we would talk about some of the nominations, as well as just the importance of award season and kind of what it means to us, as well as the general perception of these things. Like, are they actually important? And we have 10 minutes to do it, so let's go.
Okay.
I'm kidding. We have plenty of time.
Well,
are the Oscars important? I mean, do you think a lot of people in the film industry, like, they want to win an Oscar? Like, it's important to them, to the world. I don't know. I mean, I think in the film industry, it's more of like, it's our award that people will strive for.
It's definitely
important to them. They like getting recognized by your peers.
Exactly. It's peer recognition. Unlike, say, the People's Choice Awards, I've seen plenty of comments that are like, I'm not going to watch the Oscars until they're voted on for by the people. And it's like, that's not the purpose, right? This is the Academy of... These are filmmakers, and these are who they believe are the best in their own business, or who spend the most on advertising. I'm not sure exactly what the criteria is anymore. There are other awards for that. If you want voting, the People's Choice Awards, that's a thing. The MTV Movie Awards, that's a thing. The press honors Hollywood with the Golden Globes. So the Oscars kind of stands out as these are the actors, the directors, the producers. These are the people that are saying we are going to honor ourselves, who we believe are the best among us.
What cracks me up is like the people, because I've seen those comments about like people not wanting to watch the Oscars until like the actual people that see these actors and see everything else can vote for them. Like, and I remember thinking like that is the exact same thing. Remember how like in high school and part of the yearbook you would always have the most likely to whatever, right?
Yeah, the
superlatives. That'd be like the parents voting for that. Like that's but it's just like, how many people go see a movie and they're like, you know what? I really want to go see this movie because such and such is doing the special effects in this one. Oh, what is this? Because this guy's doing the sound design. Like, I mean, like no one cares about that. Like half the people that see these movies that say that they would like to vote in for the Oscars, they can probably name maybe like 10 directors, a few actors, probably a ton of actors actually, a handful of producers, and I promise you, 0 screenwriters.
Unless it's like Tarantino.
Unless it's written and directed by the same damn person. But or unless it's like unless they're really big Marvel buffs and they've seen all the MCU films and they know exactly who wrote those movies. I mean, because Christopher Marcus, he wrote. Oh, I'm just saying, like Christopher Marcus is one that sticks out. But it's like it's just there's people really, I don't know, they're mindless. So yeah, like as Ovidio said, like this is something where like the peers, or where the Academy itself recognizes talents. I mean, what was it? American Werewolf in London, I think, was the first film to ever get an Oscar for special effects.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, do you honestly think that people would ever vote for that? Oh, I love the special effects. Oscar for acting.
The way they made
Did
Iron
you guys,
Man look in Endgame, RDJ gets the Oscar.
Yeah. Nobody, what were you saying?
Did you guys watch any of the movies that are nominated this year?
I watched that Judas, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I forget the name. I forget the name of it. It's kind of escaped me for a moment.
Messiah.
That's it. I saw that
I feel
one.
like they just threw them together this year. Like all the ones that are nominated, they kind of just like threw last minute, because I didn't hear about anything. You usually hear about like all these movies that are going to get nominated like November, December, but I haven't heard anything until I think a couple weeks ago.
Well, I wonder how many films are going to be like not from Netflix or HBO Max or whatever.
Hey, Nomadland is from Hulu.
I'm just saying.
That was Monk is Netflix, right? Or Monk, or I forget
Mank,
how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Mank, there it is. Mank.
That's the one with Gary Oldman and what's her face?
Yes, Gary Oldman.
Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah,
that's
a good character actor. Brandon.
I know.
Did you see me blow up your comments last week about you when I like stopped your episodes like immediately when you said that Johnny Depp is the only character actor in the last 20 years. I'm like, really? He's smoking something if he thinks that, because
it's actually
Gary Oldman
drinking. He's probably
it was insane when you said that.
I was drinking.
Immediately. Yeah, like he's on a good one if he thinks he's not thinking clearly. Oh man, Daniel Day-Lewis, like, oh man. I even called you, like, I think I called you and you didn't answer, but I was like about to like yo, what the hell?
No, you did call me. You did call me.
I did. I called you. I was like, what the hell are you thinking?
Oh man. Well, it's like, again, I wasn't thinking. My friend Jameson was doing all the thinking for me. Okay. So it's like, and I was so wrapped around the concept of like this, like all the stuff going on with culture the way it is today. Yeah, the basis of the show from the prior week. Like I was still like in that mindset because the internet's full of these things right now, and it's just like it's hard to ignore, and it's just frustrating because it's like we've regressed as a society. But that's a conversation for another time. It's more like, but I do appreciate you. Like, oh, I mean, Gary Oldman, he's like a great character actor. Brandon, like, oh, okay, damn,
yeah, man.
That's
calling
like a
you
shot
out.
fired. That's a damn like napalm, man.
Yeah, I called you out quick because.
No,
like,
you're right. I mean, you have some amazing character actors outside of Johnny Depp. You have Gary Oldman. You have Daniel Day-Lewis. You have quite a few.
Christian Bale.
I mean, Christian Bale actually, and I like the fact that Christian Bale, Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams. I mean, you have a lot of actors that just completely surround themselves in roles.
Tom Hanks.
I mean,
even he's done it. Tom Hanks got
yeah.
some good ones where he's like, whoa, like, was it The Terminal? I love that movie. Have you guys seen The Terminal?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
When he's in that playing that the entire time, like, awesome.
Well, there's that. I mean, for Christ's sake, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I mean, that man and his acting chops alone. Like, if you were to see Jim Carrey back in Living Color days, you would never even thought that he was capable.
Bill is a great actor.
Oh yeah, Fire Marshal Bill.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Even,
it was like, going from sketch comedy
think of
to.
What do you guys think of that movie last year that I feel like got snuffed? Adam Sandler's movie.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
I loved it. I absolutely loved that movie. I was like, holy shit! Like, well, I mean, Adam Sandler's another amazing actor. I mean, like, look at him and Reign Over Me.
Punch Drunk
Love.
Love.
Oh my God! No one
Punch
ever mentions that
Love.
movie.
No
one mentions that movie ever.
I'm just saying, like, Punch Drunk Love. Yeah, Punch Drunk Love. Like that. I mean, he gets like compliments on Punch Drunk Love a lot.
Yeah.
But Reign Over Me, his portrayal of a completely heartbroken and lost man trying to find his own way through life.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like that movie, like the whole courtroom scene where the lawyer flops down like the picture of his wife and kids in front of him, and he has a like huge outburst. And then the scene when he's like, when he finally admits that he knows who his in-laws are. And he apologizes to him and tells him about how he doesn't need to see photographs of his family because he sees them every single day. And then he gives his mother-in-law that kiss on the cheek and says, "Oh, like, love you, bye-bye," like, and walks away. Like, that was a heartbreaking movie.
Yeah.
And he just delivered that perfectly. Like, he just delivered so much on that level of grief that very few people will ever understand, but he made you understand that grief. But, there are so many actors that get snubbed from. Adam Sandler should have already won an Oscar, like multiple times over.
I thought that one. I mean, I like Joker last year, and that one. Those were my favorite movies last year.
Yeah, Joker did pretty good.
I watched in theaters.
Like Joker. I mean, like, see, I'm not. I enjoy comic book movies. I enjoy movies based on comic book characters, and I will say with the Joker, it isn't a comic book movie. It may be based loosely on a character with comic book characters in it. Mm-hmm. But it very much was very much reminiscent of Taxi Driver. I mean, it's very much reminiscent of like the dark grittiness of it. Like, I mean, I felt like it deserved the award because, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, I mean, he killed it. But you have now here are my thoughts. Now, I believe that Heath Ledger, another great character actor, unfortunately passed away in like 2008. I know his Oscar was, I don't want to say controversial.
That Oscar.
Huh?
Both? I mean, he won an Oscar and so did Joaquin Phoenix. They're both playing the Joker.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, my thing is I remember when he won the Oscar, like a year, like you had a lot of people that were saying like, well, he only got the Oscar because he died. I'm like, well, I think his death probably opened the eyes to the Academy of all the work he's done over the years. I mean, unfortunately, like the Academy is like nothing more than like their boss. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's like that's like upper management up there.
I mean, he was so unrecognizable in that though. You watch it and you couldn't really tell it was Heath Ledger playing Joker.
Oh yeah, even in that split-second scene where you saw him without the makeup on when he was like there to assassinate the mayor, that brief scene where he was posing as a cop, even then with the makeup, you would not recognize him.
No.
I mean, it was just, and like I remember like all the horror stories, like, oh well, I mean, it just drove him crazy. It's like there's pictures of him skateboarding and jumping over Christian Bale in his Batman suit on a skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
Like Jared Leto, Jared Leto method acted his ass off. He stayed in the character role of the Joker. Heath Ledger switched from speaking as a Joker to speaking as Heath Ledger between takes. He was very much himself and joking and everything else.
Yeah.
And he, I think, did probably the best live action portrayal of the Joker I've ever seen on a realistic version of Joker further into his career. Joaquin Phoenix, we didn't see Joker further into his career. We saw what made him go. We saw what made that particular iteration of the Joker go crazy.
Let me interject here real quick. Talking about Heath Ledger and his Oscar win. We can mention who he was up against. Josh Brolin from Milk.
Yep.
Philip Seymour Hoffman from Doubt. That was quite a performance there.
Michael Shannon.
Another great actor.
Yep. Michael Shannon.
Revolutionary Road. And, of course, at the time, even though I love Heath Ledger's Joker, I was really pulling for the dude playing the dude that's playing the dude disguised as another dude.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, man. Downey Jr. Was he nominated that year?
For Tropic Thunder, yes.
Wow. That was...
Oh, my God.
I think deserving.
No,
deserving.
I do too. But you know what?
Jeez.
You know what? Just from a standpoint of everything that we've gone through this past year or so, looking back.
We talked about this earlier.
I'm just saying, looking back at that, my God, it just... Even in the movie itself, could you imagine Robert Downey Jr. winning an Oscar for Tropic Thunder when he was a white dude playing a black man in the film? And there was even a scene in the film where the actual black man says, like, white people always take all these roles from us.
Hold on.
And then he wins the Academy Award for it.
Kirk Lazarus was not a black man.
No, I'm talking about him portraying a black man inside that movie. Inside the Tropic Thunder movie. I'm just like talking about the irony.
Jr. was playing an Australian who was playing a black guy. So the meta goes really deep.
I'm just saying, it's just like it would have been hysterical if he won just because the irony of what that movie was actually about, with his character. But it was like, it's just a matter of finding the humor there. That's what has me cracking up over it. But no, it's like, honestly,
it was a pretty stacked year, though. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Michael Shannon is another actor that I have to say is a brilliant actor. If you see him in anything, he just owns his roles. Terrence Howard has nothing on him when it comes to playing Zod. Michael Shannon actually made Zod threatening.
Oh, Zod! Oh man, he was so good.
I
love Man of Steel.
I love that movie. I will say that Henry Cavill, I look at him as being I know that Christopher Reeve is everyone's favorite Superman. I think it's only because of the fact that he was the first one to actually play the special effects heavy live action role that made superhero movies actually become something, made people think hey, we can actually make superhero movies. That's actually they're bankable.
You don't think Henry Cavill has taken that from him yet?
No, I think he has, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that will always say, Christopher Reeve will always be my Superman. Well, no, he did a good job as Superman.
Yeah, he did a good job as Superman. Henry Cavill is not playing Superman.
No, exactly. No, that's exactly it. Henry Cavill, what he brought to the role, and honestly, what was done with that character, making Superman so conflicted, showing his conflict. Where he's ready to knock the shit out of that guy in the bar. but he has to take a deep breath and leave the bar. But he gets his vengeance by impaling the guy's truck on all those on all those logs. But you see this in him where he's just trying to find his place in the world, which is what Superman has always pretty much been about, trying to find his placing. He did a great job to show a conflict in a character that you never see a lot of conflict in any kind of movies or any TV format, aside from maybe Smallville or comic books. But he showed this gritty side of Superman. He did for Superman what Chris Evans did for Captain America. Like, you had these two perfect characters in the comics, but he showed his inner struggle. And then Zod, he showed Zod not to be a psychotic, but to be a product of what he was made to be. It was just an all-around brilliant movie. Superman, Man of Steel should have, huh?
Don't get carried away, man.
Oh, I can get carried away.
Go back to Michael Shannon when he's telling his mom, "I'll find him," and he screams it at her. I love that line. I will find him. So good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty badass.
But and it's just Zod trying to recruit Kal-El though. The whole movie, my God. It's like he's threatening him, but he's not threatening him. It's like in Zod's mind, I'm telling you, I will kill you. But it's my point is that with Henry Cavill, you have these actors that portray these superhero characters, and that you have these professional career directors that have only ever worked in the most serious of films, saying that. I think James Cameron's actually one of them, talking about how superhero films are just like a circus to them. It's not real cinema. It's in their mind, it's not real cinema.
That came out last year, right? Or was it when?
I think it came out after Endgame.
Scorsese said that, yeah.
The Irishman came out.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes, but I just remember James Cameron had this big thing against Marvel films in general. I think it was also because he's more focused on being number one at the box office instead of just telling a damn story. No offense, James Cameron. Avatar was, okay.
Scorsese that did it.
No, I'm just saying, but James Cameron had this whole thing with the Avatar because of what it was doing to the Titanic. I think it was Titanic, or I forget which one. But I know Scorsese. What's that?
Go ahead, finish.
No, I'm just saying. I know that James Cameron had his fair share of stuff to say too. Now, Martin Scorsese, the man directs gangster movies. Let's just be honest. He's a gangster writer. That's what he does. If not I guess Raging Bull was a long time ago though. But he tells a lot about the grittier side of the underbelly of desperation or just crime dramas. That's what he pretty much specializes in. But it's just and he's won some Academy Awards. He's done some terrific work. But if you actually look at these superhero films, I'm sorry, some of them do deserve,
The Dark Knight, that was a.
Yeah, it was
great
movie.
It
was beautiful. Yeah. Dark Knight Rises, maybe not as much, but The Dark Knight was actually a very beautifully done film.
Yeah.
Now, I like The Dark Knight Rises, too. I love what Tom Hardy did with Bane. Holy shit.
Yeah. I saw The Dark Knight twice within the first 6 hours it came out.
My God, it's like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, I went to the midnight screening, and I had a Batman suit at that time, and I had my buddy dress up as Batman, and then another buddy dressed as Joker, and we walked to the ArcLight Dome and watched it in the dome. And then we had another ticket for $310, and we watched it again.
The first movie I ever saw, it's DC, but it's not The Dark Knight. But the first time I ever saw an actor from a DC film that I noticed them was actually Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Back in our film school days, because Ovidio and I we went to the same film school. And our film school, they had the student sponsored housing, the school sponsored housing for the students. My first housing was at this place in Culver City called The Heights. And it was down the street from the theater I used to work at, the Bridge. I think that was like a Cinemark or something like that. But it was like this beautiful, big movie theater. And the movie Let's Go to Prison just came out in like 2006. And with him playing, I think it was Larry. I thought he played this character, Larry, like the head of a white supremacist group in prison. And even with it being a stupid comedy movie, Michael Shannon was terrifying. No, Leonard. That was his name, Leonard. But Michael Shannon threatening, oh God, what was the actor's, no, like the lead actor's name? Not Zach, oh God, let me look this up real quick. Go to prison.
I saw. I walked past Christian Bale at the movie theater once. I had a Batman suit on, a Batman shirt on, and he like turned to the side so I wouldn't recognize him, but I saw him.
Well, I heard he doesn't like being approached in public.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were just walking. I think it was like the day after Christmas. We went to go see a movie, and he's like leaving the theater, and we're walking towards the theater at like 11 a.m. And he like has his kid in his arms, and like he like kind of turns to the left, and then I could see his little, he has a little like mole or something on his eye, and I'm like, I think that's Christian Bale. And then my buddy Ryan, like, he's like, dude, I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I saw him. He turned to the side so I wouldn't recognize him because I had a big old Batman shirt on.
Like you and I had that discussion earlier. That's the thing that you do not do. Oh my God!
No.
How to get a celebrity to hate you in a heartbeat? Shout out their name in a very public place.
Oh yeah.
And it's like this is.
Well, I worked the
ahead.
Golden Globes, and we saw everybody. Like when I did the Globes in 2016, and everybody that was there. I mean, we had. I think that year, Jimmy Fallon was hosting, and he was really nice. He bought everybody Shake Shack, the entire crew.
Oh, nice!
Like over 200 people. Like just boxes and boxes and boxes of Shake Shack.
God, see, someday I aspire to have that much money.
Yeah,
so I can buy like a year's worth. Shit. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Technical difficulty. Actually, I ripped off my headset. No, it's like just so I could buy myself like a year's supply of Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, oh, honey, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm going to go buy like 500 milkshakes. No, but you meet some really damn good people. But I remember seeing like Let's Go to Prison with Dax Shepard and Will Arnett. That's his name. And Michael Shannon, he was terrifying in that movie. I remember him like looking like there's a scene where he shanks somebody, and Will Arnett being like this really trust fund stuck up rich kid that got locked up in prison. First guy that got locked
Batman,
up in prison.
by the way.
Oh yeah, Lego Batman. But he like I remember like he rats Leonard like Michael Shannon out like on his first day in prison. He rats out like the head of this white supremacist group. Michael Shannon comes out of the hole. And so Dax Shepard and Will Arnett are going to lunch, and they're in the like dining hall. And this one guy's like, "Oh yeah, Leonard's looking for you. He's going to kill you today. He wants to go talk to you right now." Like, okay. Well, Arnett goes over and talks to him, and he looks at Will Arnett. It's like, it took a lot of balls for you to stand up to me like that. No one's ever stood up to me like that before, except for my father, and I killed him. Will Arnett's like, well, you didn't kill him with kindness, did you? It's like, with a hammer. I'm going to kill you the same way. Like the way he says it, though, like it's just looking back. I watched a movie on Amazon the other day. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. He's Zod. Like, he's just Zod all the way through. But I mean, it's like he's an example, like one of many actors I can think of that deserve or should have already at some point won, like his role in The Iceman, for Christ's sake. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. Complete
Josh,
ice,
have you seen
for
it?
sure.
No.
Oh my God, you're missing out.
I've seen 101 movies this year. That is not one of them.
Well, it's free on YouTube. I hate to say that, but I think the movie deserves all the money back that it can get. But it's an amazing movie. You should watch it.
You saw 101 movies?
this year so far.
Jeez.
Right? Like, I wish I could.
How do you yeah, that's devotion. How can you keep your are you watching them? You put your everything away. You can just sit there and just I'm watching a movie. You just put all your stuff away, and that's what you do.
Let me describe a day in the life of me for a moment.
All right.
5 a.m. I wake up, get ready for work, do my morning thing, then I come back, play some video games for a little while the kids are at school. Then I go back to work for a little bit. When I come home, I'll start a movie, and at some point, I'll be helping with homework and have dinner cooking, things like that. So I can squeeze in usually about a movie a day. But on the weekends, I can get 3 or 4 in a day.
How do you choose your movies? Because it's hard for me to even choose one movie to watch a week versus one a day. How do you I'm gonna watch that tomorrow? You just scroll and all right, we're gonna watch this.
Yeah, it's basically pretty random. I'll get a wild hair to let's see. Thursday, I was like, you know what? I want to watch Thor Ragnarok. So I did. No, Thursday was Snyder Cut. And that was, of course, scheduled, viewing.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I watched Ragnarok, and Thursday, I watched the Snyder Cut. And today, I was like, you know what? I want to watch a great superhero ensemble movie, so I watched Infinity War. And tomorrow, I'll probably watch Endgame, to wrap it up.
Okay, so you watch movies you've seen already. You're not watching a new movie.
It's mostly new movies, but every once in a while, I want to watch something again.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as quality goes, I've ranged from there's this movie that came out last year called Time Loop.
Mm-hmm.
Not great.
Have you seen Empire of the Sun?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Earlier this year, I watched
Christian Bale.
2 Lion King movies. Newsies is my favorite Christian Bale movie, by the way. No
Which
Newsies
movie is
fans?
it?
Newsies?
God, you were going back to when he was a kid, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, that's Christian Bale when he was a child.
Yeah,
teenager.
well, even in the Empire of the Sun is, yeah.
It's a musical, Disney.
Oh, it's a musical?
Yeah, it's about a bunch of newspaper delivery boys, basically.
Set
watch
in
musicals.
olden days, back when newspaper boys were on the corner.
Yeah, it's my description of it is an oversimplification of it, but it is a very good movie. Actually, I'm long overdue to rewatch it. I haven't seen it for a couple of years. But see, I watch all the independent stuff, whether it's good or bad. There is a friend of mine, Jared Rush, that lives in Jacksonville, Florida. He did this movie called "I'm Going to Kill Someone This Friday." He produced that, and so directed by Durden Godfrey. So I watched that movie, and I think I purchased a Blu-ray. I've got to actually ask him where the hell the Blu-ray is. But I watched that. It was actually pretty good, very low budget. But you know me, Josh. We discussed it a few times. I always recommend Relish to anyone.
Yeah. And I recommend Animal Crackers.
Animal Crackers. That's still on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty damn. That's actually, I will say that was a fun special guest. We had a director of a star-studded cast. What was it? Sylvester Stallone, Dan DeVito,
Ian McKellen,
Jim from The Office,
John
Ian
Krasinski,
Jim from The Office,
Wallace Shawn. my favorite story was how he just couldn't get Wallace Shawn to say inconceivable.
Oh yeah.
No matter how he put it in the script, he's just I'm not doing this.
No, a video. It's hysterical. He said he tried so many times to get him to recite his lines from The Princess Bride. And he absolutely refused to say the word inconceivable. Like, he said it was like a running joke, like the entire production, trying to get him to say inconceivable one time, and he would not do it.
But he managed to get Stallone to do Shakespeare.
To be or not to be? That is the question. That's a horrible Stallone impersonation, by the way.
It is. It really is.
Oh my god, that's like the impersonation. Have you guys ever seen that Brisk commercial with Sylvester Stallone? Like way back when they did the Brisk iced tea claymation commercials.
That's Bruce.
And they had they would have like, oh, that's Brisk, baby. Like, I mean, that's what that is. Such a horrible impersonation. It's like that is like my celebrity death match impersonation of Sylvester Stallone because it's so god awful. But so, like, coming to the point of the Academy Awards, now, granted, it's very important to people in the industry, especially on the professional A-list level, to win, because it's such a prestigious award to have. So it's important for them. It's important to the Academy to recognize talent.
Contracts.
Now, do you think, guys, I'll ask this, do you think that just because someone wins an Academy Award because they're recognized in the industry as being a master of their craft, do you think that makes them more marketable, I guess? Like, obviously more marketable, but do you think that... What's the word I'm looking for? Josh, finish my sentence. You're pretty good at this.
Okay, start the sentence. I'll finish it.
Do you think if someone wins an Academy Award, if they win that Oscar, do you think that that makes that person
more physically attractive?
They're worth more, meaning they're more like thinking like they got a better name for themselves, so they put them in more movies.
Well, no, I mean, like that goes with the whole marketable thing. I'm talking, do you think that they're more worth? Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Do you think that makes them more worth their weight because the Academy recognizes it? Because let's face it, there are some Academy Award winners that you're like, how the hell do they win?
True.
Like you have some Academy Award winners.
I mean, there are years where the pickings are very light. Not to insult anybody in this year's Oscars, because let's say Best Actor, we have Riz Ahmed, Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, and Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Hopkins, he won for what was it, 13 minutes of screen time in Silence of the Lambs? So he's always been kind of a force on screen. Yeah. Gary Oldman, beyond time, he has just such a vast array of characters in his arsenal over the years. It's amazing how he knows who he is. Chadwick Boseman, I have not seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Didn't you say you have, Brandon?
Yes.
So I can't. Really...
No, I thought he was really good.
That's gotten quite a few nominations this year.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah, that was actually a very well done movie. It's sad that I mean it's really sad that he passed away last year, but do you
think he would be nominated if he hadn't passed away?
Well, I mean that's the question. I mean that goes back to my question with Heath Ledger. I think Heath Ledger was very much deserving of the Oscar, huh?
But did he do a good performance? You said the movie was good, but did he do a good performance?
And well, I mean, like Chadwick Boseman, I think I can't think of a single thing he's ever been in where he did not turn out a great performance.
An Oscar-worthy performance.
But it's like one of those. I mean, he was acting.
Yeah, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio has given a couple really good performances and didn't get nominated.
Let's just put it like this. Let's put it this way. DiCaprio. You said he was never nominated?
No, he has no, but there's some times where he's done a really really good job and he didn't win, and then the one that he did win, I didn't think he should have won one before that. Yeah, it's not the one he should have won for. Revenant.
That's right, Revenant. Well, see, I think he should have won one for Django Unchained.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's like the scene where like his dedication to acting, the scene where he smashed the glass on, like smacked his hand on the table and it like sliced his hand open on a piece of glass, and continued to act with this glass in his hand with a very real cut that required medical attention. Finished his scene. I mean, and that was the scene that was used in the film. It was just like a holy shit moment. Like, I had no idea that was real because he just kept with it. I thought he was only acting, but then to find out that he was acting with what had to be that much pain in his hand. Like, holy shit, man. Like, he should have won for that.
Brandon, we got comment up on the screen there for you.
Sean, welcome to the chat, sir. Sarah's had a look at the Academy Award nominations of this year. Usually they are big news. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just understandably so. This year is, I feel like they're going to be scraping for whatever they can get because of how very little actually came out last year. That people, I don't want to say went to theaters to see, but you have a lot of big names that don't look at Netflix or Hulu or streaming services in general as real cinema. And there's a lot of these movies that unfortunately just were either delayed, directly streamed to cinema, or just have yet to be released, like, Ghostbusters Afterlife. But, that could have been an Academy Award-winning movie. But, you shut your mouth, Josh.
I didn't say anything.
You shut your mouth.
Well, let's. Looking at the Best Picture nominees this year, you have The Father. That's what Anthony Hopkins was nominated for. I don't think I've heard of that.
Never heard of it.
It's a drama based on the 2012 play La Pierre. I got nothing. Then you have Judas and the Black Messiah, which was a very powerful movie. Very much deserving of the nomination.
Oh, yeah.
Mank. I gave some love earlier this year to it after watching it. In case you don't know, Citizen Kane was a movie written by a writer. I know, crazy, right? But this movie is,
really?
this movie is about the story of that writer and him writing Citizen Kane as a script and dealing with the Orson Welles and basically the politics involved in making the movie. And then you have Minari, the American Korean movie, I guess.
I'm watching that right now.
So,
like, I have 20 minutes left on it.
Quick take. Good?
Yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying it. The grandma and the kids, like, their relationship in it is really good. I thought it was going to be like a big old, like, for Steven, like, because he's nominated for Best Actor. I thought it was going to be his movie, but it's not. I think it's the kids' movie and the grandma. Like, that's where I'm getting more of that. And even the mother has more of a presence, I think. He's good in it, but I mean, he doesn't like take over the entire film where you think he'd be nominated for it.
Yeah, he's nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was watching, because I wanted to see his performance. And then, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like, wow,
it's just kind of not a stretch, maybe the lead you were expecting after that nomination.
I just thought that it was going to be more impactful. Like, his role was going to be more impactful in the story and maybe show more of a struggle. But he doesn't. He's good, but he's just not. He's like not a. The other characters are so much, not say likable, but you enjoy watching them in the movie. You enjoy watching their story and like what they're bringing to bring into the movie.
Now that does bring us to Minari, which is the next one nominated. These are in alphabetical order. Now, do you think Minari would be nominated if Parasite hadn't won last year?
Me? I mean, I don't know. Did you guys like Parasite?
I did.
I thought I didn't like that movie. I thought it was okay. It was getting so much praise, and I think that's probably what made me not like it as much. But
I mean,
I didn't think that.
I thought it was pretty good. Like, I thought it was pretty good, but I wouldn't really say that it was Academy Award winning.
It won. I mean, okay.
Or Academy Award worthy, rather.
Do you think that since it won Best Picture, it should also be up for the runner for Best Foreign Film? Should it be able to take both? Because it did.
That's a trickier question.
Well, I mean,
because I think if it's the best movie, it's the best movie.
I think that.
I
would look at I would say like best movie. I would also put it in the same placing. See, I was in like the movie label would also make it like the best foreign film because if it's the best movie, it's a film. Like, I mean, it is in fact a foreign film. But I don't think it should win awards for it if it already won one. Because hey, you already got best film. You shouldn't even be in the running for best foreign film.
That's what I'm saying. Film. I thought it was kind of selfish of them.
But at the same time, like it kind of like if it's a foreign film, it's kind of like I was like, well. Well, I don't think it was their choice, though, was it? Like, I mean, well, no, I guess it is. I guess
they had to
go for
submit,
a few of the
right?
they filed for what they can get.
Yeah.
But you see, there are some people that I'm honestly surprised have yet to ever win an Academy Award. I mean, I really am. Like between Emily Blunt, I'm surprised Martin Sheen. You know, Thandie Newton. I mean, Thandie Newton's done some amazing work. But there was all these people acting for years that have now won an Academy Award. And you have some people who win it on their very first outing. I cannot remember her name. But it's the actress. She was in the movie in the 80s. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Children of the Lesser God. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
No.
You guys have never seen it? Wow. Okay.
No.
It's a beautiful film. But she plays a. I mean, she is a deaf actress. What? What? You laughing at?
You.
Or quoi?
Hey, Brandon.
Marley
Matlin.
Marley Martin.
What?
Marley Matlin.
No, that's her name, yes. Why are you saying my name?
I was telling you. It's pointing you
to
the chat.
Oh, yeah, no, I just saw that. I saw that Sean commented. But, no,
Thank you,
like with Marley Matlin, yeah, thank you, buddy. 1986 film. But it was a beautiful movie with her and William Hurt. And it was her very first on-screen role, and she took home the Oscar. Since then, I don't think she's done a whole lot in what do you call it? I don't think she's done a whole lot in terms of maintaining a film career. I think she's done a lot of television. But you have some career actors and actresses that have yet to win an Oscar after years and years and years of putting out some amazing performances. Let's see. Children of the Lesser God. Switched at Birth, The West Wing. Oh, she even acted with, Martin Sheen. The word gives me like Martin Sheen. I mean, Apocalypse Now. Like you see him in that, like a Ward Home. So many films that he was in. Like it's just like he just gave this stunning performance. I'd never not won Oscar. But John Turturro, I mean, my God, that guy is an excellent actor. And
Samuel
Jackson. Oh, brother, where art thou?
He's saying he thinks Samuel L. Jackson should have won an Oscar?
He's never won an Oscar.
I don't think Samuel L. Jackson's worthy of an Oscar. He'll get a Lifetime Achievement Award, but that's about it. No, I don't think so.
He deserves an Oscar for the whole I'm sick and tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
That's a Lifetime Achievement Award type Oscar. Yeah.
And you know what? Another one. Mel Brooks. His comedies. Like, he should have won a few Oscars for his comedies alone. Now, he also, as well, got a Lifetime Achievement Award. But he should have won an Oscar a few times for, like, comedies. Donald Sutherland.
Oh.
Donald Sutherland has never won an Oscar. The man's a brilliant actor. You make him at least like a knight or something, like Sir Donald Sutherland.
Will Smith?
Did he get nominated for Pursuit of Happiness?
Huh?
Nominated.
Did he get nominated for? Yeah, he got nominated. Yeah, I think he was really good in that. There's a couple other ones he's been really good in too.
He's another one. If you told me in like the early '90s, back when I had his DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince CDs, if you had told me he was going to be the kind of actor he is today, I would have looked at you like you're batshit crazy.
Oh man, he's saying Sean's saying Pulp Fiction 187. That's when Samuel L. Jackson should have won. Yeah, he was good in those.
No, definitely.
I love
187. Definitely.
He was great.
Oh yeah, 187. Everyone, put up your flanges.
Dude, that guy. Yeah, he was good in that. I mean, I do like that movie a lot, actually.
No. And Pulp Fiction, also with Pulp Fiction. I mean, it's like Samuel L. Jackson actually is a very like the whole standoff scene at the beginning of Pulp Fiction. Yeah, like when he's like, like a big was it a Big Kahuna Burger? Like the whole scene. He's scary as hell.
I mean, he's good. He's good at playing that character, though. That's what he plays. He plays Samuel L. Jackson. If he was, and he did that also in Django, where he like brought it up, and I think that maybe was like a nomination. But I mean, again, he's really just playing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, like that, and also in the what was it? In the Hateful Eight, he was also pretty much playing Samuel L. Jackson too. But
yeah.
The thing is, like, like he's still, like, he has, even with him just pretty much, like, you feel like Samuel L. Jackson just shows up and just reads a script. I mean, it's just pretty much, it just seems like it's that easy for him. Like, hey, we need you to be angry on screen for, like, 2 hours, but we need you to play this character for, like, 4 months. I got you, motherfucker!
What is,
The Tooch?
The Tooch.
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, I hope so. John Wayne played John Wayne and won an Oscar. John Wayne played Genghis Khan as played by John Wayne. Like, I mean, no, there's no whitewashing in Hollywood. God.
Ian McKellen's never won.
That's shocking. I mean, I wouldn't give him one for Lord of the Rings, but I would definitely give him one for at Pupil, definitely.
Was it Samuel L. Jackson in Lakeview Terrace? Did you guys see that?
I did. Yes.
I liked he was good in that. I mean, again, he's playing that character, but I mean, I like that movie a lot, actually.
Yeah, he's I mean, everything that you see him in, I mean. You know what? I've already pushed the show well into the NC-17 range here, Josh. So, every movie he's in, he's always saying "motherfucker." That's like his line. It's like his catchphrase. It's like Bazinga Sheldon in what do you call it? Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. With
Samuel L. Jackson. Listen, Sam, we just want you in the movie. We want you to say "motherfucker" at least 6 times. Don't worry, it's an R-rated movie. You can get away with it.
I mean, not saying Samuel L. Jackson's not worthy of getting one eventually, but I don't think any of his roles would say like, yeah, he should have won it for that. I think he's
I
had an awesome
don't think it's
career.
Warranted.
Yeah,
I don't think it's remotely
he's
warranted.
had an awesome career for sure, and he's if he doesn't ever win one for a role, he's definitely going to have like a lifetime achievement award and getting honored by the Academy. I would imagine he would. That would suck if he didn't.
with Samuel L. Jackson, I look at him as being a very talented actor, a very charismatic actor. But I look at him as honestly, is he a talented actor, or is it because he's acting amongst very talented actors in his films? Like he's acting opposite of them. Now, Coach Carter, okay, yeah, I could see him as, I guess kind of being good in that movie. Okay. But all of his other movies, like it is always, and even in Coach Carter, he is playing Samuel L. Jackson. Like you said, not to say he's a bad actor. It's just one of those things, like, I don't think that an Academy Award for him is warranted because despite what he's done, despite the iconic roles he's played, it's just something that doesn't really, I don't know, like the actual acting doesn't really, I don't know, do anything for me. It's like watching The Rock or Dwayne Johnson act. It's always Dwayne Johnson acting.
Yeah. Did you see Gridiron Gang?
I did. Yeah.
You did? He was pretty good in that. And that was before he became who he is now. I mean, he was huge before acting, but he took on a serious role and played that pretty well.
Well, I mean, when he was in that, when he was also in the what was that? What was the movie where he played like the football player with a daughter unexpectedly? The Game Plan.
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say Dwayne Johnson's ability to make fun of himself is great. In that movie, I think he goes to his daughter's recital, and he wears green tights because he's supposed to be like a tree or something like that doing ballet.
Do any of you watch wrestling?
Josh does.
What do you think of John Cena? Do you think he's going to make a big impact like The Rock?
I don't think he's going to be the next, Dwayne Johnson or anything like that, but I think he could find a nice little corner of Hollywood.
He's climbing. He's starting to make the same moves. He's making the exact same moves that The Rock did.
You know what cracks me up with that whole thing, though, is like, while I don't really watch wrestling, I am very familiar with some of the feuds behind it. And John Cena was absolutely, I remember, if I remember right, I believe The Rock was like his role model at first. Mm-hmm. And when The Rock left to pursue acting full time the way he did, John Cena had a lot to say about him because he was like a traitor to his career. And then John Cena did the same thing.
What do they call that? What they call that? I think it was a job. I don't think he really meant that. I think it was all a job.
Yeah, it was a work.
Yeah, work. There we go. It was a work.
I thought they actually. I thought there was actually some kind of thing. Like, I mean, not like related to wrestling, not like a scripted wrestling thing. I'm talking about like an actual.
Everything they do is related to wrestling, man.
Well, I thought this was like an actual private. I thought this was like an actual private interview with him.
Yeah, still work. They take it out of that. Like his character is so like respectable that he I don't think he often talks badly about anybody.
I got you. I mean, I love John Cena. I love his roles because even in his roles, like he is like like you said, like he is doing the same thing that The Rock is doing. He's doing the same. He's making the same moves as Dwayne Johnson. Mm-hmm. Where he's just like, I mean, he's making fun of himself. Like, look at him in that movie. What was it? I couldn't stand watching it, so I kind of watched it like about a half hour and I turned it off. The Trainwreck with Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
The whole scene in the movie theater. I will lick your asshole.
He says John Cena will have a breakthrough because of the age of streaming. I think I've seen a couple things with John Cena. Did you see the Bumblebee movie with John Cena?
I did.
Good in that.
Well, I mean, like the Bumblebee. Well, the Bumblebee was the Transformers movie we should have always gotten.
That was a great movie. And my mom watched that, or me and my family watched that over Christmas, and I was like, let's watch this Transformers movie, and everybody liked it. That's a good one. That's a good film.
No, it's always a good idea to put Michael Bay in the producer's seat instead of the director's chair.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's an okay director, but all of his movies are the same thing. Close-up of asses, boobs, and explosions, and the camera's always moving to where you get motion sickness. That's about it.
We had a Transformers marathon around Christmas.
So, see, I like the first one. The second one was okay. The third one was, the fourth one, it just kind of got harder and harder to sit through. So when Bumblebee came out, I remember Danielle really wanted to see that movie. I'm like, I don't know, babe. I'm all transformered out. I can't do any more. She's like, well, it's not directed by him. He's like, let's go check it out.
Yeah, the trailer when it came out it was pretty good, and then
I was very pleasantly surprised by it. I actually just watched it the other day on Amazon. I was like, well, this is actually I forgot how good this movie was. It's very heartfelt.
Yeah.
It's not about some teenage boy just trying to get get with a girl. Like, I mean, it's actually about like two different people coping with shit, and it was like I'm saying, two characters coping with things and being each other's support. Like, it was actually a very, even as it could have been like a character driven film as opposed to just like the Transformers movie that it was at its core. I'm sorry, like at its cover. I'm sorry, at its core, it was a very character driven film with the two characters. And honestly, like Bumblebee actually showed him to be like this really, it seemed to kind of redo everything that Michael Bay did. So I'm like, okay, thank God. But no, I like that movie. It was actually it was damn good.
Let me bust in real quick here because I was looking up some information. It looks like, if rumors are to be believed, John Cena could be making his way to the MCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandman.
No. Got it.
Taking a role
with
from
Spider-Man?
Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah.
So they're going to bring back they're going to bring back Alfred Molina.
They're going to bring back a ton of people in the next one, right? They're supposed to do the whole Flashpoint thing, but with Spider-Man, like the Spider-Verse.
From what I've read, yes, but no. I have no idea. Like, I mean, because
yes, but no.
Well, it's like one of those two. Because I mean, how like Marvel is very secretive, so much so that they have pretty much lost all faith in telling Tom Holland anything. So I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, what was that one time when Tom Holland was unboxing something that he got from the studio?
Yeah.
And as he's reading, it's like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And on the back of it, it says, do not show to the public.
Yeah, it was like he showed his script and it had the title of the film and he read it. Something like that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but it's just like, and the big sticker on the back of it, as he's looking at the front, the sticker on the back says, do not show to the public on it. It was whatever it said. Confidential, whatever it was. And then he flips around and is like, check it out. And he's like looking at the camera and look at the back, and he looks at the back and he's like, oh. So it's like, I don't know exactly what the next Spider-Man is going to be. I hope that the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is going on. And honestly, I will say this, as far as Oscars go, can we recognize Elizabeth Olsen?
Yeah.
Like, that girl,
I
mean, just with what she's done, like, if there is ever another Oscar award towards a comic book movie character, she needs to get one for what she's done with Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah, she's great. To actually get out of the shadow of her sisters is pretty cool. I think that's pretty.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, like, I mean,
you don't even think about her sisters anymore. Now that she's with her, she's I think surpassed them for sure.
Well, no, it's like, it cracks me. There was an interview I was watching while I was at work the other night, and during the interview, they were asking her, it was like, so what was it like? I mean, because you're like the sister, you grew up with the Olsen twins, and it's like, well, yeah, but I didn't call them that. She was like, to me, it was just Mary Kate and Ashley. Like,
did you guys see the Falcon Winter Soldier thing yet today?
Not yet.
Watched it today.
I just watched it. Did you? Yeah.
Oh God, that ending. Josh, can I tell you?
Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah. Good.
So Nomadland is the next movie nominated.
So they actually are pulling. Well, I kind of saw that coming, and I see that going on. Do you guys think there'll be like the new thing in the future, where they find movies that were released directly onto video, like on demand services or streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, stuff like that? Do you think that they're going to start finding these movies and nominating them for Academy Awards?
They've been doing it for years now.
I mean, like, more regularly, though, because, mind you, this whole past year, like, everything was shut down for so long in most states. And because of California being shut down, nothing was really coming out of the theaters.
I think, yeah, I guess, yeah. Were there ones last year that were like that? Or it was like, now everything is that, but getting nominated like that. But last year wasn't like that.
Yeah, last year was like The Irishman was
The Irishman,
nominated, but
Netflix
that was.
original.
But I'm just saying, it's like, but it was rare.
Marriage Story was a Netflix original. That's 2.
But what I'm getting at though is like it hasn't been going on for years. It is still a fairly recent thing. But what I'm getting, my question is, do you think that'll be more of a common practice where instead of just focusing on movies that, because Netflix has been around for a couple of years now. Same with Hulu.
Movies that like get nominated usually don't make a ton of money anyway, so probably will be just ones that go straight to like a streaming service.
And Sean says definitely it's the way of the future, which I do agree. And he also says, I also think that the days of R-rated movies being released at the box office are over. Sean, what do you think that, buddy?
Ooh.
That's an interesting statement. I'm curious about that one.
Released at really?
Like I'm actually very curious. Like what makes you think that the R-rated movies like being released is not going to happen with the box office anymore? Because mind you, like R-rated movies being released at the box office are like the parents' way of getting away from the kids.
Deadpool did amazingly.
And Deadpool, Deadpool is like they were so scared shitless of making Deadpool.
I mean, even Wolverine
they made a lot of money. Then they're like, oh well, let's make Logan now. Like just.
You think the new Batman's gonna be rated R?
I don't know.
I think so.
I mean, it's pretty dark, man. Like I was saying this long ago. They need to make a Batman with a Riddler, and it'd be like 7. That's what it is.
Well, see, it comes off a little bit like they're doing the Hush comics. Okay, so Sean just commented back on here. I'm wondering if the only movies released at the box office will be big budget movies like superhero movies or children's films. Well, I mean, I don't think so. I think that they're still going to. I think they're still going to do the whole like rated R stuff. And sorry, give me a second here. I'm trying to do something here. I think they're still going to like have the usual stuff coming out in the theaters. Just like I think that the streaming services, I'm sure that these studios are saving a shit ton of money on distribution alone.
The other day when I was speaking to the head of he's my boss. He's like in charge of first run shows, and he was talking about, oh yeah, we've already budgeted all the shows for the year COVID style. And I'm like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, it's saving us a lot of money.
What do you mean COVID style?
Like, nobody's working in the office, less people on set, Zoom calls. They're saving a ton of money that way, like people not being like going to work unless it's on show day.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
It's like they've like anything, like everything like that is now for whatever he's producing is all like their budget as if like COVID's still running the world. And
okay.
They have a ton of stuff already coming or like in planning to be able to, for COVID, and it's also money saving for them.
I got you. Okay.
It's a pain in the ass though for COVID though. Like they hired me, right? And they were like, okay, you're the line producer, but you're also the CCM, which is COVID manager. And I got to like run all their tests or like schedule their testing. And with their, the way they ran things is the only way you could be on set around town is you had to be tested 48 hours from your call time. So within 48 hours. So if we were shooting Wednesday, you'd have to be tested on Monday or Tuesday. You couldn't go Sunday, you couldn't go Saturday. And, if somebody were like to get replaced, like I think a couple of times, like people had to get replaced like the day before, and you have to rush to find somebody and get them a PCR test. And this production, they wouldn't accept PCRs. It's just a royal pain in the ass. Like my job became more COVID than it was like actually like line producing. That took up way more of my time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like that's one thing I've been trying to do is I've been trying to get my hands on a at-home testing kit for COVID-19. And I was like, if I could get this, I could get like tons of work. Just like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to test you right here. Come get your test, and then go sit away and wait for 15 minutes. I'll come get you when it comes back, and then you can go to your assigned place.
Make friends with a phlebotomist, and then you did it.
I can easily do that. Oh,
yeah,
here, okay. I'm sorry, not to cut you. I'm sorry, Ovidio. Sean wrote, "I don't get out to the movies as much anymore, but I can't remember the last time I saw a Scorsese-style movie in theaters." Well, I mean, like, mind
Since
you,
he's
we were just
working for
talking about this
Netflix.
earlier, Sean. But in 2019, there were tons of movies that were rated R that came out that did very well at the box office. And as far as Scorsese style, it may not be Scorsese style, but it's the grittiness. And we mentioned it earlier, but the Joker was like a top performer at the box office in 2019, and it's very much rated R, followed by
Rated R.
Chapter 2, Us, John Wick Chapter 3, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's plenty of movies that still make plenty of bank that are rated R and that come out to theaters. It's very successful. I don't know how the hell Pet Sematary got in the top 20. It's such a horrible, horrible movie. But there's so much room for these movies to still make money in the cinemas once they open back up. Now, Sean, Josh, and I are members of this online group called Movie Addiction on Facebook. I'll shoot you an invite. It's actually a pretty cool group of people. But
the only one that treats it like an addiction, apparently.
A lot of these people think that I mean, not a lot, some of them, because there's like a couple thousand members, and there's maybe like 30 to 40 people that comment regularly on the page. But some of the ones that comment regularly are saying that, cinema is going to be dead. It's never going to be back to where it was. Like, well, no, it will be. This is not the first pandemic that shut things down for a while. You know, the film industry survived the Spanish flu.
They got to give us a reason to go.
Well, but I mean, the thing. Hello, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Josh. Okay, you and your judgmental ass need to calm down. But the thing is
that the new one?
Yeah,
the new one that's going to come out.
It is the new one.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Yeah, see, Josh, it looks fun.
It looks like a little fun movie.
That's something that I would definitely go out and buy a ticket to see. But
yeah,
looking at the movies that I watched last year, from last year, I'm surprising myself that I saw one movie in theaters last year.
What? Huh.
I mean, mind you, everything got shut down in March.
Yeah.
But I think Sonic the Hedgehog was the only one that I saw in theaters.
I was going to say Sonic the Hedgehog was the last film that Danielle and I got to go see in theaters. And I was kind of concerned as to how much Jim Carrey was kind of turning her on. Sean, do not say anything about this on Movie Addiction.
Oh, man, he says, I have a nice TV. I mean, I have a pretty nice system. I have like a projector with like 100-inch like picture with a really good sound system, but it's not the same as a movie. Like, especially a Dolby Atmos theater. Like, if you get like a really good sound system movie theater, like, you can't watch like I saw Dunkirk at the Chinese theater, and when those like missiles or the bombs are going down, like, so cool. Like the sound, like.
See, it's funny because it's funny you saying that because Sean just commented. I think Anthony Mackie was right. I remember this comment that he's talking about too. I think Anthony Mackie was right. I have a nice TV at home, and I can pause it if I need to use the restroom.
Yeah, that's what I was commenting on. It's because he said that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
But it's like, well, I mean, that's it though. I mean, like, you can either go pay. I know that there's some people that just like have Fire Sticks. Sean, you know who I'm talking about. There are some people that have Fire Sticks that just watch the pirated versions of these movies, which I think. I think as being someone that has both gone to film school and has also worked on A-list production sets, and I've actually met people, like with you, Ovidio, like I've met people that you usually only read about in magazines or see on TV or in movies.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with these people. It is a job. It is a job. And piracy is a bitch. Like, I mean, it's a very good way to put it out of work. But
they're making a ton of money.
Sean, I'm talking about our good friend Tizo, who might as well be, making a Fire Stick commercial on a Movie Addiction. But it's just like, it's one of those deals where it's like, I know piracy is the bane of the entertainment industry, but at the same time, it's not enough to really destroy it.
There was a movie that I worked on, and I used to pirate movies a while back. And I was looking up, and this movie popped up that I was working on was downloadable. So I downloaded it. And then I hit the director up. I'm like, oh, cool, the movie was good. He's like, what? He's like, the movie was good. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's up. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's piratable right now. He's like, whoa. It wasn't even sold yet. And it was up there. And he was so pissed. But yeah.
Did you say that like just like innocently that it was good, or did you say that to let him know that it was illegally online?
It was bad, and then the movie was terrible. I'm like, yeah, it was cool to see your movie up there. And
no, but I'm asking you, like, the way you brought it up to him, was it like in an innocent way, like, or was it like one of those for your information? It's online, and so it's it's pirated.
No, I think I was just acknowledging that, hey, I saw something that we worked on. I'm glad that you got it up and it's going. And then he's like, how did you see that? It's not even out. I'm like, oh, well, it's piratable now. And I'm like, oh, I thought you might have sold it and they threw it on the web already. He's like, nope.
Oh, God.
So that means like the distributors are leaking this shit. Like he's probably was close to a deal and it was in their hub and it got hacked or something. But yeah.
Oh, that's messed up.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That movie was. I forget how many days I did on that thing, but it felt like a month when it was only like I think it was like 3 or 4 days. But those 3 or 4 days were hell.
Well, I don't expect you to tell us on the show, so I'm going to ask you after the show what movie this is because I'm curious now.
No, I'll tell you what movie it is. It's called. Okay. I think it's called No Way Out. It has
Hulk Hogan?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it had Danny Trejo in it. It was the first time I worked with Danny Trejo.
I know exactly which movie you're talking about. The movie, oh my God, it's horrible. Yeah,
it's horrible. Yeah, I was a PM on it. I was a production manager on that, and I remember that movie was so everything about it was so bad that like me and the AD like got into it. Well, he got into it with me. I don't ever like argue with people on set. Like you can't show that when you're running a set. You can't be the ones yelling at each other. And I like remember him just yelling at me. And I'm like, yo, dude, you need to step aside right now. And he's like, oh shit, basically like, what are you doing? That movie was.
No. I was reading about this movie a few months back. Because Josh and I used to do this thing. We need to get back to this, by the way, buddy. We used to do this recommendation of the week, and I was going to recommend this movie because I came across it, and it was so bad. Yeah. I think I even recommended Velocipaster one time. The dumbest movie I've ever seen. I made it 15 minutes into Velocipaster, and I actually sat through all of No Way Out. It was so horrible. And even if you look at the IMDb page for it, I'm pulling up right now, there's nothing on here. It's just No Way Out, 2015. It looks like we don't have any photos or quotes yet. There's nothing on IMDb for this movie.
Yeah. I saw a really bad movie last year with Mel Gibson in it, and you could clearly tell that they just paid him, and he was there for like 2 days.
Don't say Fat Man.
No, it's not Fat Man. It's like what was it? It was really bad. I gotta look it up on IMDb. Me and my friends were like trying to find a movie to watch, and like this one popped up, and we're like, yeah, we'll pay to watch that. And we just kept watching because how dumb it was.
Oh, and Sean says, I remember the story of Metallica. They were hearing pirated versions of "I Disappear" while they were still working on it.
Force of nature.
Well, I mean, that's just like everything. Well, I don't want to say it since online. I guess music is more prominently pirated since the internet became more available. But I remember seeing "Liar, Liar" and "Scream" on pirated VHS tape when I was a kid. Piracy's been around for years and years and years, especially since the creation of video cameras.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's one thing I will say that I respect about a lot of movies these days. And Justice League is one of them. One thing I respect about like how some of these, studios are conducting themselves. It reminds me of the whole story of Batman from 1989. How there is so very little promoted for that movie that people were like paying for tickets to go see another movie just to catch the trailer of it.
The Dark Knight. I did that for the Dark Knight.
And exactly. Dark Knight did the same thing.
Yeah,
But,
I watched I Am Legend because of that.
Yeah, but Justice League, they kept it so under wraps with the Snyder Cut. Going back to my beloved Ghostbusters Afterlife, there is next to nothing on that movie. Damn near nothing. There's a few toys that are being leaked.
All of Nolan's
that's
movies
about it.
are like that.
Huh?
All of Nolan's movies are like that. They're really well kept secrets.
But if you see some trailers for movies, there are a lot of trailers that you can see this trailer and you're like, now I know the whole movie. Like, I think the remake of Child's Play was one of them. I remember seeing that trailer, and if you watch the movie, you'll realize that you saw that entire movie start to finish in that trailer. All the way up to the final confrontation. Like, I mean, there's a few movies like that, and it's like, oh, I've already seen the movie. I've already seen the movie in the trailer. Why am I going to go see the movie now? Now I know how it ends.
People did for the Phantom Menace. What you just said.
Oh yeah, the Phantom Menace. Like, people are like going to go like you know, they were going to the movies just to get like, you know, the trailer for the Phantom Menace. Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, mind you, YouTube wasn't around back. I don't think YouTube came out to like 2005 or 2006, somewhere around there. But because remember in our film school days, a video that YouTube was fairly new.
Oh man, I still have my film school videos on YouTube on a profile.
I have one on YouTube.
No, I have a good amount of them, and I even have my end of the year project for my high school on there too. I always send it to like my buddies that like, I'm like, hey, look at this, what I was doing in high school.
Oh yeah,
or film schools.
If I want a good laugh, because you know, like they say in film school, like you make the most depressing films in your freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, we don't. I went back and watched my film. Like, I seriously blew my brains out in my freshman final in film school. In the movie, which is all black and white.
Yeah,
it was a student film.
I don't know if mine was depressing. It was about a hitman.
Well, let me go look you up real quick here, sir.
If you won't find it, the title of the YouTube channel is not my name.
That's okay. You can
one
tell
of my old emails.
You can tell me what it is. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is off. You can go check it out.
Just how about this? Just go ahead and message it to me on Facebook Messenger so we don't give anything away.
Yeah, and then you're gonna post the link, and everybody's gonna be like,
I promise you, I will not. I will. I've never done that. I've honestly, I've damn near posted someone's phone number online just to piss them off. I decided against it, so I would never do that.
Okay, I had to look it up, but I do remember the stories. You know, when you actually had to go somewhere to see a trailer, you didn't really have the option of going online. But when the Phantom Menace first released its teaser in '98, it was shown at the beginning of Meet Joe Black. So you would have screenings of Meet Joe Black absolutely sold out. And after that teaser plays, a lot of the audience would just walk out.
Oh
man,
my God.
The internet makes things so much easier, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I found a video of Brent Butsky.
What's up?
Old buddy of mine from film school, Brent Butsky. He passed away quite a few years back.
Is that the one that was the hang glider guy?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, no, I found his under. Do you remember Dennis Lee?
Yeah.
It's on his. I found his profile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was Brent Butsky back because I remember in our freshman year we had to do these videos showing our life at, like, I guess in a student sponsored.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, you'll see mine. I just sent you my profile for YouTube. Mine's on there. I made a mockumentary of myself.
Yeah, I did one for myself. I know that mine is somewhere on YouTube because we didn't film our own. Someone else filmed us. But Brent, I remember watching his a few years back, and with him, He's seriously in this thing. Mind you, we had to show this, Josh. We had to show these videos to our class. And Brent, in his video, was showing people how he hides his liquor in school-sponsored housing. It was like
You're
no
right.
alcohol allowed.
When did they start having, when they were showing movies, he mentioned, you're right, the internet does make things easier. I remember having to look movie start times in the newspaper.
Yeah, my dad and I get the Friday paper just to see what we'd be seeing at the movies that weekend.
I can't remember. I vaguely remember that, or I remember the TV guide. Do you remember the TV guide where it would scroll, and then you would you have to wait for your show to show up, see what time or if it was.
Yeah, and if you like looked away at the wrong time, you're like, I gotta wait for it to go back around.
Yeah.
A video. I'm looking at your movies on here.
Oh yeah, you are?
Yep.
Yeah, if there's one that's a 2 parts, the Paintball Wars, that's my end of the year's like school video, and that brought the house down back then. Everybody loved it.
Oh man, I love a Batman mockumentary. I'm gonna have to watch this.
Oh yeah, that one's funny. It's about like a person obsessed with Batman that pretends to be Batman, but it's me playing the character.
That's awesome. I'm gonna watch these tonight. That's cool. Yeah, the Paintball Wars Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah, that's the high school end of the year video, and then It's a Baby is my thesis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I thought was I liked it. I mean, I feel like the Brightburn.
Yes.
Movie Brightburn. I basically, that's the beginning of that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's what the movie's about is Brightburn.
No, like with my film, it was. Remember, I told you earlier, like I was helping all of my classmates produce their own films.
Yeah.
And I was helping them with all their stuff. I was either producing and doing camera work. I was doing all kinds of stuff. So when it came to do mine, I had like 48 hours. I think I had like 72 hours before I had to turn our stuff in. Mm-hmm. And I could not find anyone to help me because they're too busy editing their shit now. Like no one's going to help me. Like so I was pissed.
That wasn't my thesis. That was my portfolio.
But a lot of these people had these really happy-go-lucky, cute little films.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, your films are too happy. I need to really destroy the uppity mood that's going to be left over at the end of the class. All the giggling and all the like laughter, I've got to destroy all of it because now I'm pissed at you people. So I wrote this quick script about a guy and I told you about like my two friends, like my two like gay friends that were in this production, where this guy is betrayed by his girlfriend. She's hooking up with his best friend, very much like The Room. Just nowhere. Well, I guess it's kind of dramatic, just better acted. And so I make this whole thing, and so I like the scenes where the guy's sitting on the couch and he's like, the character I'm playing is drinking himself half to death. Then it cuts to his memories where they're all like these colorful memories, like clouds, like filtered in over the picture. The happier times of him and his girlfriend. Then it goes back to him drinking, writing this letter, and everything else. You find out this letter is like a suicide letter. And then he talks about like how he was upset like that she left him for his best friend, and it shows him walking in on his girlfriend and his best friend, making haha in the bedroom. And I remember like I actually edited in these different filters, these like sound effects, all this stuff, like just. I was so pissed off. I really want to make this thing as creepy as possible. I even used piano music from Silent Hill as like the soundtrack. And so then there's the big scene where he pulls out this gun. I blew my brains out. And I even put in. I used a fake 38 special, much like my own gun. I used a fake 38 special style like cap gun revolver, like a little cheesy dollar store toy that I just spray painted black. And when I pulled the trigger, I edited in the gunshot from a 38 special, and I made like fake blood and brain matter with latex and toilet paper, and sprayed it all over this poster that I made hanging behind the couch in our apartment. So everyone watches our movies, and we're all laughing. And I'm not laughing; I was still pissed off. So Jesse Hoffman, she's like, okay, and last up, Brandon wanted me to show his last for some reason, so okay, here's Brandon's. And
for some reason,
I didn't tell her why. And so all the laughter and everything else, my movie, like all these movies are like 3 minutes long. My movie was 9 fucking minutes. 9 minutes of straight depression. And then like what is it? I think like the last line was something like, in all of our fights and all of our misunderstandings and all of my mistreatment, one thing's always stayed very true about how I feel about you. Then my character, like I scream as loud as I can, and then the gunshot goes off. And the last shot is me laying back on the couch with fake blood, like pouring out of my nose, because I had to like, do it the right way to make sure that the blood was pouring out. Because I had to tilt my head back to like fill my nose up with fake blood, fill my mouth up with fake blood, and then I would like move my head forward just a little bit, and then it would start pouring out of my nose, my mouth, to make it like look real, you know?
Yeah.
And then that black and white turns to color, and you see like the blood spatter, like the blood coming down my face and everything else, the smoke coming down my mouth from the gunshot. And the last words were, "I love you." Before the film burns up, we go to credits, and the song goes from Silent Hill to Mad World.
I was gonna say, is it go to Bad World? I was gonna say that. I was also thinking you're thinking like Matt. You're like probably went to Mad World.
And I'm sitting in the back of the class, and everyone just like Jesse turns the lights on, and everyone slowly turns around and looks at me like. And I've got Sloan next to me, mind you. I had Sloan and Paul, my two members of the LGBTQ community. They're both looking at me because I had them do the sex scene in this short student film.
Yeah.
So everyone's staring at me. Sloan has her head buried in her hand right next to me. She's like, I can't believe you actually put that in the fucking movie. Like I told you I would.
I need to see it. Got to send that link, man.
I will. Give me a second. But it's like Jesse's like, why would you have me show that last? Like that killed the entire mood. It's like, yeah, that's why I wanted you to show it last. Like she's just like, look, I mean, I will say, like, I miss Jessie. She was such an awesome teacher.
Yeah.
But
married Livingston.
Huh?
She married Livingston.
Yeah. I think I actually just I tagged her in something she said to me the other day. But she would actually what do you call it? She and Misha are actually living in I think Israel right now. So
whoa,
they've been there since before the whole outbreak thing happened, just to try to stay safe from it.
Wow.
So go with them. Like, I mean, that's awesome. All right, here we go. Josh, you're quiet. I've been talking a lot. I'll shut up.
It's 1 o'clock there, or 12:30 for him.
And I don't really have much input in the whole personal, stories department.
I will say, Josh, it would have been absolutely hysterical if you were over there and you muted your mic, and for some reason your audio wasn't feeding into your headphones, and you fell asleep. And this show turns into like an all-nighter.
Of him just snoring?
I know a video wouldn't like stay on all night long, but I would.
Yeah. Oh man, this is juicy. The beginning. I gotta check this out.
And I will actually, you know what? Everyone listen to the WADcast. I will actually post my student film.
Yeah.
On the WADcast page. Because, you know what? It's a fun memory. Oh, God. That's right, as talked about on the show.
Yeah, this is fun.
that was in 2006 or 7. God, I can't believe it's already been that long.
It's 2007.
But just like, I mean, because I remember when all these movies, like just AI in general, man. Like, I mean, there was, you know what, film school is not a necessity to work in film, but damn it, I had a great time.
Yeah.
It was a very expensive good time.
Yeah,
but
most expensive friends.
Like, I mean, and honestly, at first, I didn't know how to like really approach Ryan. I didn't really, just from what my interactions were with him, I was already closed off to a lot of people, so I didn't really like him that much. And then he asked me to play some kind of like stoner snowboarder, I think, in his directing the actor class.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Hey, you look like you surf. Do you snowboard?" It's like, "I've gone snowboarding. Good, I need you. Can you like, yeah, you're wearing skitter tie. Yeah, go sit in the chair over there." Like, I'm just hanging out in the hallway. Like, I'm just hanging out in the hallway, right outside that little TV studio. No, I was outside the video cage, and he was walking past me. He's like, "Hey, I need you in this TV studio. I need you to act for me." I'm like, "What?" Like, the first time I've ever said a word to this guy. Like, who the hell are you?
Yeah. Yeah, Campbell is a special person for sure.
He was like, "Listen, I need you to act. Is that a yes or no?" I'm like, "Hi, I'm Brandon." I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm Ryan. Yes or no?" Well, you guys fucking mouth on you. Let's go. But yeah. And then we were just, heterosexual life mates from there, much like me and Josh. Didn't talk to him for a few years. The next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call. "Hey, can you be a groom in my wedding?" Like, sure.
I was at his wedding.
Yeah, I thought we interacted a little bit.
No, I thought I first interacted with you maybe there, but I mean when we did the steaks at Campbell's house.
No, yeah, that's our first interaction, like our first prolonged conversation.
Yeah.
I know we briefly saw each other at his wedding, though.
Yeah.
Because like film school, like you and I didn't really cross paths much. We know a lot of the same people, but you and I we just went to the same school and knew the same people.
Yeah.
Because AI, as small of a school as it was still a pretty big damn school. So, and plus, I also stayed very much to myself. So,
the film school, like the group, they were super cliquey too. Like you were in groups, like you were like part of that group or you're part of that group. They didn't really like mesh well because everybody was like almost like as if they were like in competition or something or a popularity contest.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of gangs. I remember like some girl tried to start a sorority.
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever succeeded with that, but I remember she was trying to start a sorority and some guy was trying to start a fraternity. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you people?
I just remember the first day of film school was like, whoa, this is a weird group of people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was an art school.
Yep. I mean, it's like you had like the artsy kids too. You have kids that you would only expect to really see in a TV sitcom.
Yeah, they were there. They were there.
Oh, God. Oh, good times. Like, I mean, I drive past the old building once in a while if I go to Santa Monica or Venice Beach. I see it when I go down to Ocean Park Boulevard, but it's fond memories, but it's just like really, you know what I miss the most though? I miss the Cadillac shop across the street that had the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, and I also miss that burrito place that was right across the street too.
They had the food trucks there. Like the food truck place took over that like cul-de-sac area. There's like that's like at the beginning of like when food trucks started becoming like more than just like taco trucks. It was like Thai food and different other types of foods. Like that was like the beginning of like the food truck.
Man, wow, we should probably get back to the show here.
Yeah, for sure.
Josh, I'm so sorry. Oh man.
One more thing from the school. One more thing from the school. Remember the little flap thing to leave? Like you have to like swipe your card to get in or out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We used to use the quacker clamp to open up the thing. We would have a quacker clamp and we'd set it over that magnet thing and it would lift it up.
God.
Yeah.
I remember I was the reason why I had to get a new vending machine because I was cheating it.
Vending machines.
Well, it's one of the conveyor belts. I knew how to get free sodas.
Wow.
So I got caught, and then they ended up getting a new vending machine like 3 days later. I'm like, oh, well, shit. College kids are broke. Can't you be understanding here? So anyway, so Josh, is there something you'd like to add to this conversation? From an artistic standpoint. Oh, and Sean, I read Screenplay by Sid Field and took one screenwriting class. Sean, honestly, if you want to learn how to write screenplays, all you have to do is just read screenplays. That's it. And I will always recommend this book. We got it back in college. The Screenwriter's Bible by David Trottier. I will always recommend that book. Yeah. That's pretty much what I would actually say. Like, I mean, I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground when I started writing scripts at all. That book teaches you everything from formatting to forming query letters, which I don't believe they accept snail mail anymore. I think it's all email now. But either way, man, that's really like the way that I learned how to write. And yeah, I'll shoot you a link to the book. You can get them used online for cheap. They don't really change much with the editions. You can get like an old one for like $5, new one for like $20. That's it. You always show it, you never say it. Lots of dialogue, gets really boring and really tedious to read. It's got to a little idle chit chat here and there is fine, but most of the dialogue has to have something to do with the story. Josh, are you still with us? Did it happen? Did he fall asleep on us?
He
Josh!
fell asleep. Well, that's been sitting up there for a really long time and usually pulls it. And yeah.
Joshua.
Shoot him a text.
Oh, 1 second. Need to talk to you sometimes about agents and software. I wrote my screenplays on Microsoft Word. I mean, people use Microsoft Word to write.
Oh, he got kicked. Brandon got kicked.
I guess I gotta talk now.
He got kicked. He was like trying to get a hold of you, and I think he got kicked or something.
Okay. Shh.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is.
Accidentally logged out of the show somehow. I don't know what the hell happened.
He needs to talk to you sometime about agent software.
But yeah, Sean, you can write on anything. You can write a script on pretty much any platform. The biggest thing is formatting and the font. That's it, man.
In fact, I wouldn't even
There's
worry
a couple
about
of
that.
free ones now too.
What's that, buddy?
I wouldn't worry about any of that.
What, formatting? That's a big thing.
Yeah, but these days, if you got a few extra bucks, you could get somebody to fix that up for you, and compared to what you originally wrote, figure it out from there for a relatively inexpensive cost of quick learning. Just looking at it and saying, oh, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. Okay, now I know not to do that again. I guess that's the lazy way to do it.
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's like, but I mean, there are free. Yep, carry into a 12-point font. But there are programs. What is it, Josh? What was the one that you used for a long time before you got found jobs? Well, Celtics, right?
Yeah, and then they switched over from a program to cloud-based and took out a lot of the tools that I really liked.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like there are. I'm just saying that, but there are free online screenwriting softwares that you can actually use. and your latest screenplay, Nightfall, placed in competitions. That's awesome, man. It really is. I mean, I'm proud of you for that. It's really good. I'm just saying, like, but it's like when it comes to a lot of agents or managers, stuff like that, really, my recommendation is if you have access to people, you can make a decent short film off of a short script and really get some, like, teeth in with the industry. There are a lot of short films that go on to start some big careers for a lot of people. What was that one? What was that one movie? That was a short horror film, like Lights Out, I think. Lights Out. Mama was another one.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, that's right. Napoleon Dynamite.
Activity.
Exactly. But was Paranormal Activity a short first, or was it like a feature that went into like a?
Maybe they made it as a feature for like, I think it was like $5,000 or something.
Okay, but like I'd say, like you have that, and also Blair Witch Project is in the same boat. Which I will look at Blair Witch Project as a very overrated film, but it did. It's also very often underestimated because of its success with what it brought in versus what it cost to make. Those guys, the guys that made it, like, are pretty much set for life with as much money as they raked in from that film. But
I'd also recommend listening to WADcast number 24 with Kevin Kellum.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like all the stuff that he says on there, like all the advice that he gives is amazing. And there's also, what was it, Saw? Saw started James Wan's career, and it just started off as, I think, either a short film or a student film, one of the two. But it got picked up, and then James Wan directed the feature, and he directed, I think, the next two films, like one or two films, and he just blew up from there. Like, I mean, just like went on to like Dead Silence and just kept going. I think, well, didn't he direct Aquaman?
Aquaman had a director?
God, I'm serious. I think he actually directed. Let me see real quick. Aquaman. Aquaman.
And of course, going back to what you said earlier,
I need to watch those
reading scripts and reading, is fundamental.
No, yeah.
Especially when it comes to, say, the Academy Awards. What the show is about.
Yeah, let's be honest here. Ben Affleck didn't do anything to write Good Will Hunting. He sat there and gave Matt Damon a few ideas and got an Academy Award.
But he should have been nominated for an Oscar.
Joking.
For directing.
Who's that? Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Well, didn't he? What was that movie that he directed a few years ago about the guy that went over to the Middle East?
Argo,
that's right. That was actually a damn good movie.
Yeah, it's really good. It's suspenseful. That last part.
Did he win the Oscar for that?
I thought he did.
He wasn't even nominated.
No.
That's a crime. That was such a great film.
He won every other directing award, but the Oscars didn't even nominate him. But I do believe
Sean,
it won Best Picture.
Sean, if you want to shoot me over Nightfall, I'd be more than happy to read that, buddy. Argo was not good. Argo was great. No, I don't want to read your script. Joking. Send it over if you want to. I'll check it out, buddy. But I kid because I love.
Argo, that was nominated. Yeah, it won 3 Oscars.
For Best Picture.
Best Picture, yeah.
Best Screenplay.
Best Writing, Best Film Editing.
But old Benny Boy did not get...
He didn't get Best Directing.
Not even a nomination.
Or yeah.
He won so many awards for directing that movie. But, again, I think it might have been the biggest... snub I've seen in a long time.
God, was Argo from 2012?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Okay.
I know, right?
It feels like it was just like maybe like 3 years ago that it came out. Okay. Yeah, like because he won the Golden Globes. The Academy Awards were Best Motion Picture, Best Writing for Chris Terrio, William Goldberg. I will say, William Goldberg did beautifully with the film editing for that film. Let's see, he won for the BAFTA Award,
The Critics' Choice
Screen Actors
Award.
Guild.
Did you guys like Green Book?
I haven't seen it.
I liked it.
That's a good movie.
I think it's the only one from, what was it, 90? One?
What? No, it came out recent.
No, let's see.
The Green Book?
The Green Book. What?
The movie just came out in 2018, buddy.
Yeah, it came out in 2018.
So it was the 90th Academy Awards.
The fried chicken scene.
Oh, God. Josh, you need to watch the movie.
Put that on your list for tomorrow.
Yeah. It's a must-watch.
That's a good feel-good movie.
I just saw the criticism of it, and it kind of turned me off a little bit. As far as the accuracy.
Yeah.
No, the actor was actually pretty solid in that movie.
No, the accuracy of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it made me go, well, I'm never going to watch this. It just, at the time, it made me go, I probably don't need to see this right now. Okay, it was the 2019 Academy Awards. Yeah, it was 1 year off. It was 90th annual. Yet one, it was up against Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite. And this is where I said Netflix has been recognized for years. It's been 2 years, so years is an acceptable word.
Okay.
With Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice. Yeah, I had seen Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, and A Star Is Born. Green Book, Roma, The Favorite, and Vice kind of slipped by me.
I think I watched the Green Book because it won. I think. But I can't remember.
I've been trying to watch them before, the awards, just so I can talk about it on. I mean, I've been doing podcasting for, like a decade now, and
yeah.
I just want to be able to have something to talk about.
What are your other shows?
Let's see. Right now, pretty much everything except this is on some sort of hiatus.
Okay.
I did a show called The Netflix for a long time, but after the movie came out, I got some blowback for not, sharpening my pitchfork.
Huh.
We don't really say the name of that movie anymore. Brandon knows what it is.
What's that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Starts with a C, ends with an S.
Yes.
Yep.
Because I didn't, follow everybody onto the hate train and gasp. I watched it. Suddenly, that made me something that I'm definitely not. But as far as this year's Academy Awards go, like I said, I've seen 4 of them, something like that. I watched Nomadland. It's on Hulu. What can I say? It's a movie where not a whole lot happens, a slice of life kind of deal. I'm not even sure what Promising Young Woman is, to be honest, but I've been hearing things.
I mean, it sounds like a promising young woman to watch.
Sounds like a promising movie.
But get it? Okay, I'll shut up.
Yes. I mean, yes. Yeah, I got it right. The Sound of Metal. That's one that sounds very interesting to me. And as a matter of fact, it's on Amazon Prime, which means for those of you interested, hey, Brandon, I'm going to make an announcement here.
Go for it.
While at the moment, it's not going to carry the official WAD Theater logo, I guess, I have decided to convert my Twitch channel to a virtual movie theater.
Okay.
So if you want to go to twitch.tv/skitcomic and pay attention to the WADcast or Semicore Studios on Facebook, I will have regularly scheduled movies, and Sound of Metal will be one of those coming up. So make sure you give those pages a like. And if you're interested in watching Sound of Metal, maybe in not necessarily a theater atmosphere, but, with people in a way, this would be a good way to do it. Everybody get together, watch Sound of Metal on whatever you watch Twitch on, and take part in the conversation. But other than that, the Trial of the Chicago 7, by the way, which, considering Borat's subsequent movie film has 2 Oscar nominations, yes, you heard that right. The Borat movie has 2 Oscar nominations.
How?
One for Maria Bakalova and one for Best Adapted Screenplay. So because this is a thing, it's funny to me to see Sacha Baron Cohen nominated for Best Supporting Actor for The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Huh.
I did see Promising Young Women.
I have not seen that yet.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Did you see it? Did you guys see I Care a Lot?
I did. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was so good until like the third act, like the last part.
I was the same way, but at the same time, like I was drinking when I watched it, so I posted this whole thing about like how I just blew this movie apart, about like how unrealistic so much of it was.
Yeah,
and then I started when I sobered up, because I was a rush judgment. Because there are things I've never heard of, like working in healthcare. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go look this up. Turns out it's actually a very complex scam that really does happen. So I'm looking at this thinking like, okay, well, I'm reading more into it. I'm like, okay, well, then maybe it's actually not that bad of a movie. But then the third act, I'm like, what happened? It's like such a well-written, it's like reading a well-written book. Then you get to the end, you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Logan.
Yeah.
About what?
Logan?
Well, I guess Logan kind of died down, but at the same time, like, I mean, it was like they had to close it out somehow, because that was like the farewell to Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart.
Exactly. The first 2 acts are amazing. Great character pieces. Just amazing story. And then it's like, wow, third act. I guess we got to be a superhero movie now.
Well,
you're saying the third act of Logan was bad.
I'm not saying it was bad necessarily. I'm just saying there was a very, very noticeable tone shift when it went from a character examination to snick, snick, I gotta fight my clone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I look at that as like being the point of that whole movie, though, because I mean, it's like he's going against this company that was using these kids as like, trying to pretty much raise them to be soldiers. And then like that final act was him pretty much accepting that part of himself that he was trying to like not be. I mean, it's like, at his core, that's just unfortunately what he is.
but like he decided to actually do something different with it. I will say this, like at least like the opening of Logan, the whole movie through and through was just I thought it was brilliant. But that opening scene with like those robbers, like that's when I realized this is going to be a whole different kind of like movie. This wasn't like an X-Men movie at all. Like when he took care of the carjackers, huh?
Everybody was chanting in theaters when that was happening. Like,
yeah.
It was like, I love it when movie theaters get like that, when like people are all interact or like involved and like cheering and like laughing.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen often, but when you get those crowds, it makes the movie experience really, really cool.
And that's why I like try to advise people when they say like they feel like the movie going experience is dead now. I was like, no, because there is no movie going experience at home. You feed off that energy. You know, if you're just going to go see a matinee where it's empty, yeah, you can do that at home. But if you're going to go see a movie on opening night like Logan, like I'll tell you right now, when he was slicing like limbs off of those carjackers at the opening scene, the whole movie theater was just like roaring, like just damn. Because it was the first time you really saw Hugh Jackman and actually had like blood on his claws. Because all the other X-Men movies, you'd watch him like shove his claws into the guy's chest and pull his claws away, and there's no blood. This movie, just blood everywhere.
Josh, what do you think of wrestling in movie theaters? Like pay-per-views.
Oh gosh, I can't say I've ever experienced it personally, but one of my favorite things to do back when a certain restaurant was open near my house was I would load up, the parents and the girlfriend at the time, and we would go there on pay-per-view nights and gather with other fans, eat wings, have some drinks, and it's just something very different, very unique about watching it with a group of people rather than just sitting there, on your couch by yourself, which is what I've been forced to do for several years now. I used to do a wrestling podcast, but because the product has been the WWE product especially has been, in my opinion, very stale for quite a while now. I don't want to say I've stopped watching. I did watch the Rumble, but I've definitely stopped making it a priority.
Yeah,
and
I paid for the network up until like April last year.
Yeah,
from the time it opened until.
I don't know if you heard, but the network's going away.
What?
Yeah, the network's it's gone. April 4th, I believe, is the last day for the WWE Network. The library, the live pay-per-views, that's all been acquired by Peacock.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, I didn't know that at all.
Wow. So you have to be a Peacock member now.
Yes.
To watch them.
And I canceled my subscription in, I think, November of last year. And I was like, you know what? I'll use this money that I've been using for the WWE Network, and I'll get Peacock, because who doesn't want to watch the new Saved by the Bell? And then I hear the news. The network's following you. Like, WWE just won't let me go.
Wow.
I couldn't make
really
it past the first episode.
They had a lot of really good content on there. Like, remember it's like a Tough Enough series, but it wasn't. It was like the documentary of like these wrestlers trying to be. What was that called? It was like right when they started the network.
I think that was Tough Enough.
No, it was another one.
It was a competition show. It was. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
I was like, they gotta keep that going. They never did.
I was going to say, I think Tough Enough was like MTV or something like that.
No, it was, but they had another one where like they got all these guys and they were documenting them at the Performance Center. Yeah, that'd be a dream to work for. I'd love to work for WWE and like shoot some of their stuff or produce their like videos or their documentaries. That'd be like, I'd be all up for that.
I've said many times I'd love to write for them.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I applied once, didn't get any calls.
I know that it's not exactly considered, the peak of entertainment. But a regular paycheck for doing something you love is priceless.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I am honest.
A geek out there.
I am very curious about like reading a script for like a wrestling event. I would actually very much love to read one.
Well,
like because
the internet, man.
I'll have to get a dirt sheet.
I'll have to look it up because
right?
I've never seen one, so I'm like I'll actually have to read it because like there are things I've been curious about, and like Josh with Bad Agent, I wrote a video. There's a prop in Bad Agent, where there is a the proof of concept that we have, the short film that we did. It's just an agent and his disgruntled actor that does not want him as an agent, but is locked in contractually to him. Just finding out what kind of work he has for him. And after turning down a movie deal from Michael Bay and from Steven Spielberg, he instead secures a deal for his actor working in, a gay porn. And I even wrote a porn script called Men in Bondage. It's like a Men in Black spoof. I never knew how to write one until I read a few. Like, I actually had to read gay porn scripts. I remember Danielle sitting right next to me, like on the bed. She's like, "What are you reading?" It's like, "Oh, it's a gay porn script." It's like, for what? Like, reference material, okay? She's, and I think she posted on Facebook. It's like me laying in bed next to my boyfriend. Babe, what are you reading? Him, a gay porn script. Long pause for reference. So I'd actually be very curious because like I will tell you, like porn scripts are hysterical. The actual scripted ones with storylines to them, not like the ones that you see on like Pornhub or wherever else I never ever watched. But the ones like on Cinemax and everything else, those scripts are absolutely hysterical.
Brandon?
And they're surprisingly very well formatted too.
Yeah.
But I would love to read like what you guys are calling like what was it, dirt sheets?
Brandon?
Yeah, dirt sheet.
But
you're gonna have to hold that thought.
Okay. It's held.
Facebook watchers, you don't really have to pay any attention to this part of the show. But audio listeners, downloaders, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to look us up on Facebook, Semicore Studios, the WADcast, and all of the other fine social media outlets that we are available on. If you are listening via download, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. Let the world know what you think about the WADcast. And you know what? My message is pretty short this week. Don't be lazy. So, see you next week.